Good afternoon, Pippins fans, and welcome into the broadcast booth here at Yakima County Stadium alongside Dwayne Johnson, my dad, my color partner for tonight's game. I'm Harmon Johnson, up here today because the conditions outside are fairly breezy here on a warm Thursday afternoon. Pippins and AppleSox, Game 3 tonight. This is going to be a salvage-type situation for Yakima Valley, dropping the first two games, trying to avoid a sweep. Last night, a close game through the first 6 innings or so, just kind of got away from the Pippins there in the end.
Yeah, they had that one 5-run spot there. I think it was the 5th or 6th inning that just kind of did them in right at the end of the game. They were playing well, had an opportunity to slowly chip away. Those are tough when you give up that big inning late in the game because it just squeezes those guys down so much more to try to figure out how do we get those runs back really quickly.
The Pippins did have some bright spots on offense last night, 10 hits as a team. Jay O'Neill hit his 3rd home run of the season. Luis Garcia went yard for the first time. The Pippins offense continues to get hits and get base runners on, just haven't seen results in the win column as of late.
Yeah, and we talked really late in that game. The fact that in the 9th inning they got 3 hard hit balls in a row to get things kind of rolling, got a run. Hopefully that sparks them today, gives them the ability to get going early like they did, score some early runs, find a way to jump out in front and see if they can just momentum that all the way through.
A southpaw on the mound today for Yakima Valley, Bodie Ramsey. Don't know how much you know about Bodie coming into this one, but he just today committed to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, a D1 school. So congratulations to Bodie. He's had a couple of good starts, and I think that's kind of the concept of this league. I know you call some very low-level professional baseball. What do you think is going through his mind making this first start committed to a new school?
I am sure probably the first thing he's thinking is, I got to make a good start and be impressive to the coaches that have just recruited him and signed him. Now, hopefully that's not something that he gets into his head too tight, that he has to do anything different. He got to that scholarship by doing the things he's been doing, obviously. He's put up the numbers. He's pitched the way they want. They just want to see him continue to improve is what they're looking for.
So Bodie Ramsey back on the hill tonight. The Pippins are going to look to try to take Game 3 of this series here against the AppleSox. This is Game 3 of 10 straight at home for Yakima Valley. Time to get that home cooking in order. We'll have more pregame coming up in just a moment. Stick with us here right before first pitch between the AppleSox and the Pippins. Down here on the field pregame during batting practice with Pippins head coach Kyle Crustangel. We're in the firing zone here, Krusty, but Game 3 of the series, the first 2 haven't gone your way, but you've put up a lot of hits in the hit column. What do you do to get a win today?
Yeah, yesterday was a little bit different than I think the rest of the recipes we've had that have had some losses. We had another night where we out-hit in terms of the hit column, but we did have 0 errors in the air column. We didn't have a substantial number of walks, but, Wenatchee, they made us pay for the free passes that we had. If they got a couple hits, they seemed to be stacked up together. If we had a free pass, it was comboed in between a hit before and a hit afterwards, and obviously they had a couple big base hits, that one of them that cleared the bases, and another one that drove in a couple. So, usually a recipe, you have 11, 12 hits, you have no errors, you don't walk a lot, definitely going to be a recipe for a tight game or a game that should be in the win column. And the fact that it wasn't, and it still was, more than a 3-4 run game yesterday, I think that's just kind of an anomaly. But I liked that we played defensively. I liked that we had 10-plus hits again. I liked that, we didn't stack up a bunch of free passes. It was just one of those nights where the free passes came at the few that we had came at the wrong time. Just they were stacked against hits, and, when they chose to walk us, you might get an out before, you might get a walk, you might get another out. It wasn't stacked with a bunch of quality at-bats or guys on base together. And that's part of baseball. But I did like how we played better last night. For tonight, I need Bo to go out there and give us a quality outing like we know he's going to do. I wouldn't say a lot of changes offensively. I think we've had a lot of nights in a row in terms of being good offensively. I like for us to really have to make defensive plays and make plays. If we can throw up a 0 in the air column, I think it'll be a good night for us. So get back on track and get to Kelowna.
A little bit of big news for Bodie today, committing to UNLV. What can you say about him?
Yeah, it was fun seeing, obviously saw it on Instagram first. Then I went and saw him in the locker room. And, what I love about this league is you get a kid from Spokane and ends up going to Chandler Gilbert, ends up coming here. But due to his collegiate time, due to what he's done this summer, gets a Division I offer. And a lot of times guys have lots of offers or they're not surprised. For Bodie, his response is just humble. It was thinks, wow, crazy. He's excited and definitely knows that he's deserving, but at the same time, he hasn't been there, done that. So for him, it's a very humble response, and I love seeing a kid that A, deserves it, get what they deserve, but B, the response is like, he's exactly where he wants to be, and great for UNLV to pick up a stud. But again, I just liked his response of like big old smiles ear to ear, and he's proud. But again, the response to me was everything I needed to see from a great quality kid that was raised right.
A little bit of abnormal weather here in Yakima. We've got some sprinkles here pregame. It was supposed to be hot. It was supposed to be windy. Doesn't seem to be that way right now. How do you guys face this adversity that we're not used to weather-wise?
Yeah, the thing I always say about the weather is both teams got to play in it and something you can't control. So to me, I don't really care. Weather's weather. I don't get to pick the weather. I don't get to control it. I don't get to operate in a lot of job fields where I can be wrong a whole lot. The nice thing is it's going to be the same for both teams. It shouldn't be an issue. It can't be an issue. Our guys are hopefully stronger mentally than that. But it is definitely bizarre. It's gray skies. It's getting drizzled on a little bit. Definitely not normal. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's another day. And if anything, the infield dirt could use a little bit of extra watering. So maybe it helps for some defense.
Who's your pick to click tonight here on this Thursday?
Pick to click tonight. I'm going to go, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Nick. I thought that Nick didn't get the results in the scorebook that he was probably looking for last night, but he stung a couple balls really hard. He's really starting to go backside well. He had a big backside double against at Marion. Had a base knock, I believe, the first night here as well, going left side. He flew out to the fast center fielder in the left center gap and a ball to left field. So I like that he's starting to use foul pole to foul pole. He's obviously has been a dead pole, high average kid that has a lot of pop. But if he can truly go left center to foul pole right side, it just makes him that much better and that much more dangerous. So I think he's seen it well right now.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, and roll Pipps.
Starting lineups coming up next here on Pippins pregame. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Yakima Valley Pippins as announced by Pippins head coach Kyle Crestangel. Leading off and wearing number 3, playing the designated hitter's role, Tyson Miller. Batting second, the third baseman, number 26, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third, the second baseman, number 17, Nick Velasquez. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 7, Jay O'Neill. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 13, Levi Sotomayor. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 40, Malachi Emery Henderson. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 51, Jackson Upton. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 6, Cole Hubka. Again for the Pippins, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Garcia, O'Neill, Sotomayor, Emery Henderson, Upton, and Hubka. The starting pitcher tonight is Bodie Ramsey, the UNLV commit. We'll give you his information when we get back. That's the starting lineups. First pitch is next here on Pippins pregame.
Two and two. Ellis needs to dial one in. Tension building here at Yakima County Stadium. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. 2-1 victory. Pippins over Sweets.
First pitch, a high drive out towards right. Back goes Chavez. He's looking up. Bye-bye baseball. Grand slam. Dylan Anderson. Bring him home and touch him all. He's been here all summer, and it finally pays off.
That was all we needed. 2-1, the final score, and we get ready for fireworks as a happy bunch.
Welcome to the Orchard for Game 3 of this interdivision series between the Yakima Valley Pippins and the Wenatchee AppleSox. The AppleSox have won the first 2 games of this series. And so the Pippins looking to salvage Game 3 here on a chillier night than expected at the Orchard. I'm Harmon Johnson, joined by my dad, Dwayne Johnson. We're going to pause for the national anthem, and we'll get into the final bits of our pregame right after our nation's favorite song. Our nation's anthem come and gone, and that means it's time for baseball here at the Orchard. Again, welcome in to the broadcast booth. I'm Harmon Johnson, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. So glad to be back beside my dad, Dwayne Johnson, the play-by-play voice of the North Platte 80s in the Pecos League during the summers. And, Dad, it was a rougher night last night for Yakima Valley, but looking to rebound and try to salvage a series. They've got a good guy on the mound to try to do that, as Bodie Ramsey, the recently committed left-handed pitcher to University of Nevada, Las Vegas, takes to the hill for Yakima Valley.
You know, and we were talking before the game, this is an opportunity for these kids to kind of showcase what they have and move up in the ladder. A lot of these guys are lower-level college guys. They're looking to find a way to get to that D1 level. You know, kudos to Brody for being able to get, you know, that offer and be able to assign and I think what you were talking before the game, this might be one of the last times you get to see him pitching here. Obviously, the new college is going to dictate a little bit of what they want him doing over the summer.
Yeah, so Ramsey making his fourth start. This is his fifth game overall, pitched out of the bullpen in his first appearance for Yakima Valley. 15 1/3 innings, coming off of a start a couple of weeks ago against Ridgefield where he went 7 innings and only allowed 1 run on 3 hits. He'll face the top 3 in the Wenatchee order: Jonah Shields, Kainoa Santiago, and Nico Pauletto. A little bit of a different lineup today, as the weather conditions here at the Orchard are much better than I think we all expected them to be. Temperatures sitting at around 75, the wind just slightly keeping us cool. A chance of rain towards the end of the game tonight, something we don't say much here at the Orchard, but a little bit of a shower came through during batting practice, and it's cooled everything off.
Yeah, no, it's a gorgeous night for baseball. You look around the ballpark, the flag is barely moving. You know, the wind was howling when we first got here 3 or 4 hours before game time, and hot, windy, dirt. You were talking about the dirt blowing around. I don't think we're going to have any of that issue tonight. Fans are still filing in. It's a very comfortable night for baseball.
Bodie Ramsey towing the slab against Jonas Shields. And Shields been the leadoff man the previous 2 games in this series. He's got 2 hits and 9 at-bats. Pippins and AppleSox getting ready to go here in Game 3. The first pitch is delivered just a minute early at 6:34 p.m. here in Yakima, Washington. And again, 75 degrees here at the Orchard and cloudy. Bodie going to feature a fastball at around 85. He'll mix in some breaking stuff as well, as you get a look at a little bit of the motion on his fastball. Not the hardest throwing lefty, but he can command a game very well. If guys get on, look to him to have an A-plus pickoff move, being a left-handed arm. 1-1, there's his first breaking ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The home plate umpire tonight, Jacob Fisher. The field umpire tonight is Clayton Kellogg, back to Tuesday's alignment.
We talked a couple nights ago just between us talking about hard-throwing lefties. You don't see a lot of them. You know, Brody looks like the type of guy that is going to be around the zone, going to be able to move in and out and control what he wants to do with the baseball.
So Bodie now in an even count here, 2-2 to Shields. Comes into this game batting .321. Wave and a miss, a breaking ball inside. 1 up, 1 down. Bodie Ramsey with his first strikeout. That is now 15 on the season.
And just like last night, got that first guy swinging right off the bat. Good tone set right off the bat for this final game of the series.
Defense behind Bodie is Malachi Emery Henderson out in left field. You've got Jay O'Neill in center field, Luis Garcia in right. Daichi's back at third, Cole Hubka's at short, Nick Velasquez is at second base, Levi Sotomayor is playing first. And catching for Bodie Ramsey is Jackson Upton. And so the Pippins going with their 3rd different catcher, technically 4th different catcher in this series. Kaipo Matsushima got 1 inning behind the dish in Game 1.
Yeah, and that's something you're not going to see in most leagues. You're not going to see 4 guys catching the ball game in 3 games. You know, typically you got 1, 2 catchers, and that's it.
1-1, lifted out to left field. First chance for Malachi. Fighting the gray skies, but he makes the catch without any hassle. There's quickly 2 away here for Bodie Ramsey.
Yeah, what a difference a few hours makes when we got to the ballpark. You were talking, I'd hate to be an outfielder tonight. It's a gorgeous night to be an outfielder. No sun, the wind's barely blowing. It really should be a good ball game for the outfield, where when we first got here, we were talking about the ball could go anywhere.
When we got here, it was 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, maybe 40s, with the infield dirt blowing around. There was a threat of rain. It just was not a very comfortable setting walking around an empty ballpark without the dirt being wet. As Bodie gets even in the count here, 1-1. That's ball one here to Nico Pauletto, moving into the 3-hole today from Santa Ana College, batting .365. This is game number 22 for him, so a rare couple of off nights for Pauletto in this series. Yeah, it was ugly. I'll say that. It was ugly weather conditions when we got here. And it was even ugly during the start of batting practice.
Yeah, the little bit of rain. It wasn't enough to stop anything from happening, but yeah, I thought it was kind of nice. It gave the field a chance to get just a little moisture on it.
And Coach Crustangel mentioned it in the pregame interview that a little bit of water on the infield, not a bad thing. Bodie Ramsey looking for strikeout number 2 today, as he's got Pauletto in a 2-2 count. Breaking ball, just enough at the top of the zone for the right-handed stick from Chino, California.
Yeah, good job at just staying alive. That was a very good breaking ball. We got a really good angle. You could really see the depth of the break, 19.83 on the breaking side of it.
Another 2-2. Went with a fastball, but it's just down and away. That might have been the changeup, actually, registering at 77. Didn't have any motion, so not a breaking ball, but definitely something off speed from Bodie. So 3-pitch pitcher. As the count runs full with 2 outs here, the pitch on the way, and it's a dotted strike 3 on the inner black. Bodie Ramsey punches out a pair here in the top of the first inning, and the AppleSox set down in order in the first frame, back-to-back nights. Pippins sticks coming up for the first time when we get back.
I like to get a little loose and rough around here. We got Jack in the blue, Jade in the red. Jade's rocking a blue mullet, and he also is going shoeless Joe Jackson style. You guys ready? First to Scott T over there on third base. Rids. On your marks. Get set. Go!
Blue mullet for the win. Congratulations. Round of applause to both of our bumper ball racers tonight.
Well, earlier on here at the Orchard, it is Mullet Mania night, and so we had a barber set up out at the front entrance. This was before anybody had sat down in the chairs. He was just getting set up, but we did have some folks partake in getting a mullet haircut to enter the ball game for free. Is that something that you would do in this situation, Dad?
Definitely not. I see you and Shay did not jump in the chair like I suggested last night.
Well, I've got my hairstylist back in Nebraska. I'm not going to switch allegiances from her, but I don't know about Shay. As we get ready for the bottom of the first inning, Nico Crowley-Kohler is the right-handed arm from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He's a native of Washington, though, going to Port Orchard as his hometown. 0-1 on the season with a 2.08 ERA. He's got 12 strikeouts to only 3 walks. Pitchers from Corpus Christi usually have some success here at the Orchard. You think back to last year, Pearson Pollard was second in the West Coast League in strikeouts out of the bullpen for Yakima Valley. So we'll see if the Islander magic continues to work here at the Orchard as Tyson Miller greets Crowley with a first pitch foul ball. Velocity going to be about 90, it looks like, for Crowley tonight. First season with the AppleSox. Going out of the stretch as a starting pitcher, You see that sometimes with guys that at their schools are relievers, and so they don't know any different way, but sometimes it's just a comfort thing too.
Yeah, and you're seeing more and more of that all the way across the league, all the way up into the MLB side of things, where a lot of guys are going strictly out of the stretch. It's kind of a modified stretch. He does step forward and then step back and come forward, but the idea is to compact their delivery a little more and be able to have that same motion each and every time versus getting wild out of a long stride.
1-2. Tyson stays alive. You think of guys in the MLB like Spencer Strider, who his back foot is flush with the rubber even out of his windup. You don't see that as much, the traditional windup where guys start facing the plate.
And I think probably part of that there again is he doesn't then have to turn and set his foot. It's already there.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a changeup dying away.
To me, it looks like that puts a lot of stress on the ankle and the knee because of the twist. But, comfort is a lot to do with pitching.
And you're pre-torqued that way, too. Everybody talks about the load leg. 2-2. Tyson right past Krusty.
He got his hands on it. He tried to catch it. He's probably thinking twice after that hit his hand. Like, if I had a glove on, it's one thing, but no glove. That was in the bare hand. He doesn't throw BP, does he?
No.
He's
or
okay.
At least
then.
he hasn't in quite a while. 2-2. A breaking ball froze Tyson Miller. He is out number 1 for Nico Crowley.
Good backdoor breaking ball there. Started off the plate, catching the outer third. Like you said, just froze him.
So here's Daichi, a rare night last night where he did not pick up a hit. He did have an RBI. It was a sacrifice fly. But Daichi batting .341 for Yakima Valley this summer. This is plate appearance number 101. Not very often do you come into a game with an even number. But you got to think guys average 4 to 5 plate appearances a night in this league. There's strike 1 to Daichi right down the heart of the plate. Daichi from Southwest Oregon Community College, spent a couple years there, is verbally committed to Northwest Nazarene. Pounds this one into the ground. Castagnola over at third, sends it across for out number 2. It's an exciting time to be a part of the West Coast League because as we get close to the end of the first half, you see a lot of guys start to get offers from different schools, whether it be a JUCO guy going to a new JUCO, a JUCO guy going to an NAIA going to a D2 or a D1. There's so many places that these guys are trying to go, and in the new landscape of college athletics, it's understandably probably a very difficult road to try to drive on as a player also trying to play every day.
Yeah, no, it was interesting during BP listening to the coaches kind of give you a little insight on what guys, who they're hearing from, and possible places they may be going. Obviously, some guys, sounds like some guys are going to have to make some decisions here in the next few days on where they're going to go because of offers they've been extended.
This is Nick Velasquez, who is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Velasquez batting .316 for Yakima Valley. He's got 25 hits here in his 22nd game. Time called briefly by Jacob Fisher. Looks like just a little bit of maintenance up there at the home plate area.
I think maybe he was just making sure that everybody made eye contact and didn't feel like that was going to happen.
88 caught the upper corner. 2 balls and a strike. So .316 batting average for Nick has him in the top half for the consistent hitters in this lineup. 7 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. Another one out there on the outside part of the plate, called a strike. Jacob Fisher, we saw this on Tuesday, a noticeably bigger zone than his counterpart Clayton Kellogg.
Definitely given the black versus last night where it seemed like you had to kind of catch a little more of the white instead of the edge of the black.
2-2. Nick takes it on the ground, out to second. Dunn up with it, and the Pippins are down in order. 1, 2, and 3 in the first frame. So both sides have a start like last night. 6 up and 6 down between the two teams. We go to the second inning, scoreless here at the Orchard.
Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
First pitch from Bodie Ramsey is sent foul to start off this second inning. Landon White, Joe Copeland, and Cooper Brass for Wenatchee. 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Welcome back to the Orchard, everybody. Harmon Johnson and Dwayne Johnson with you tonight. Bodie Ramsey coming into this inning with 15 pitches to his name. Now in an even count, 1-1. Landon White, the first baseman for the AppleSox, batting .277 with Wenatchee. So here's a bouncer out to Cole Hubka. Got a big yak hop, and the throw is rushed and pulls Sotomayor off the bag.
Yeah, that hop took it up high above his head. He fielded it. He felt like he had to hurry, it looked like. He didn't quite get his feet set, tried to hurry to throw it across. I think if he takes just an extra second, he got enough time that he could have got it across the diamond, unfortunately offline when he let go of the ball.
So ruled an E6. Landon White aboard, the first base runner of the night. Joe Copeland, the catcher, played on Tuesday night. He was the designated hitter but got pulled halfway through. So he officially went 0 for 1 with a run scored, drawing 2 walks. Copeland from Long Beach State, native of Danville, California. .395 batting average in his 15 games for Wenatchee as he golfs one out towards the pole. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is fair. An even 100 miles an hour off the bat, 387 feet out towards Pacific Avenue.
It had to be close. We don't have the best angle to see that pole line. The umpire was definitely watching it. He was pointing fair the entire time, and as it went around the pole, he continued with fair, signaling the home run.
Copeland picking up his second home run of the season. There's a way to announce your presence with authority to this ball game after skipping yesterday. As here's a hard hit ball right at Cole Hubka for out number 1.
Good job of Cole staying with that. A little bit of a knuckling line drive at him. Looked like it kind of shifted a couple times. Hung in there and made sure he watched it into the glove.
That was Cooper Brass lining out. And now we move down to the 7-hole, James Castagnola. Ball's been flying here this week at the Orchard. I can't say that when I was here last year there were that many home runs that I remember, especially out to left field.
Well, like you were saying earlier, the wind has died down, and you were talking about the prevailing winds pushing more to right field. We've seen 3 balls over the left field fence.
2-0. This is to right. Garcia racing that way. It is one hopping into the wall. A big turnaround first gives James Castagnola a stand-up double as another hard hit ball off of Ramsey, 95, the opposite direction.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. Just driving it in the gap, knowing it's a double right off the bat. He kind of coasted in a second a little less than probably his coach would like.
Yeah, Castagnola put the sails out a little bit earlier than I expected, at least. He was really coasting there into second base as Ethan Marr, the designated hitter, getting his first action of the series. Was at Tacoma this last year, but has committed to UW. Going to be a Husky in the Big Ten Conference this next year. Ramsey missing 1-1. With Wenatchee, Marr batting .240. He's played in only 8 games, so
compared to the rest of this lineup, a little bit smaller sample size. 1-1, a mile high out towards left. Malachi and Jay coming together. It'll be Malachi making the catch. Castagnola stays put at second. There's 2 away.
Good communication, like you said. They came together on that. You got to make sure you're talking out in the outfield. O'Neill is kind of the captain of the outfield. Malachi obviously was talking enough to O'Neill to know that, hey, I do have the ball. I'm good.
Here's Raphael Dunn wearing a different number today. Wore 16 the last couple of nights. He's wearing 33 today. As the Thailand native takes ball 1. I don't want to bring this up this early in the broadcast, but I'm going to. Bodie committing to UNLV today, going out making a start. That's a lot to comprehend, even though he's a 2-year veteran in college.
Yeah, no, and that means a whole new program for him. He's got to learn coaches, process, teammates, and then come out and have a start on top of that. His mind's got to be really racing.
This is trouble out to right if the wind takes it, but it will not. Garcia makes the catch in front of the party porch, and the inning is over. A 2-run home run by Joe Copeland, able to give the AppleSox a 2-0 lead. Pippins coming up to bat in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second inning here at Yakima County Stadium. Here's a look around the West Coast League here on your Thursday. I got Shea. It says Wednesday on there. He's working solo again tonight. I'll give him some grief. AppleSox here in Yakima, of course, but then Kamloops is visiting Kelowna tonight. They have been going back and forth, so they were in Kelowna Tuesday night. They're back in Kelowna tonight before Kelowna comes here. Springfield and Walla Walla, that's a rubber match. Victoria and Nanaimo. Richfield is in danger of being swept by the Bend Elks. They still have not clinched the WCL South in the first half. They've been so dominant to start. Port Angeles at Bellingham, Marion at Portland trying to sweep the Pickles, and then the Knights playing a non-league contest tonight against Girding Building. Luis Garcia, the first hitter here in the second inning, as he pops it up to the pitcher Crowley. A little bit of a excuse-me type swing from Garcia. And there's 1 pitch and 1 out.
He was definitely trying to stop his swing and got the barrel on the ball enough to just pop it right back to the pitcher. Hey, as a pitcher, you'll take that all day long.
Here's Jay O'Neill. Jay had a home run last night. Also had a diving catch in center field. And so batting .286 for Yakima Valley. Without getting into too many details, Jay is one of the guys we briefly mentioned that has some decisions to make. He's been in talks with multiple different schools, trying to figure out where he's going to go for his 4th year of college. And so, again, somewhat of a pressure-type situation like we talked about with Bodie, is you're trying to make a good impression with these teams, going out and playing. And, one game doesn't affect your overall scouting, but if you have one game that a couple of people are looking at and you have a bad game, all of a sudden it turns them away from you.
Well, and you never know who's going to be in the crowd maybe watching. You're not always aware when scouts are coming to take a peek at you, and they know their numbers. The scouts come in, they know how guys are batting, what they're doing. Most of the time you listen to scouts, they're looking at how do you play the game? How do you react to situations?
Jay down swinging on that 81-mile-an-hour changeup. 2 away here in the second.
You know, and that's a prime example right there, a strikeout. How do you react to that strikeout? Do you take that and learn from it? Do you get mad at the plate? Those are things that the scouts are looking for. They want to know what kind of teammate you're going to be. They already know your numbers.
And Jay's going to be a good fit wherever he ends up. He's still in the portal right now, but he is a multi-tool outfielder, and when he's going opposite field, you know he's doing something right. As Levi Sotomayor back in the lineup for the Pippins from the University of Pacific, batting .462 in 4 games. He's got 6 hits. So Levi been one of those guys in the middle to the bottom part of the order that has really been contributing for Yakima Valley, as he's fooled on a changeup there and couldn't slow down his bat. Crowley not exactly overpowering in his stuff, but seems to have everything dialed in at the start of this ball game. The 0-2 pitch from the Wenatchee right-hander is a breaking ball called strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for Nico Crowley, and 6 up and 6 down for the Wenatchee starting pitcher. Pippins unable to score. We go to the 3rd inning, 2-0 AppleSox.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done, that you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Earlier on today, security getting in on the Mullet Mania action. That's Leroy, one of our security guards here at the Orchard. What a guy. Got the hair flowing. He's always dancing in between innings. Nice fan environment here.
Yeah, I've kind of enjoyed watching him the last couple of days. He's very engaged with everybody. When we first got here, he was giving fist bumps to everybody as he walked by.
Jonah Shields batting for the 2nd time today. He struck out to start the game against Bodie Ramsey. It's the top of the order for the AppleSox. They went down in order, and then it was the middle third that got the 2 runs on the board, as a rip is just foul past Daichi. Couldn't have been by much, but with the chalk down there, we didn't see any puff up.
Yeah, it looked like maybe 3-4 inches foul. The umpire quickly on it, made sure he got a good call. That's, you know, a double right off the bat if that is not foul and trouble early in the inning.
So quickly 0-2 here to Shields. Bodie misses upstairs with 85 on the radar gun. Ramsey had 2 strikeouts to bookend the 1st inning. Then it was error, 2-run home run, line-out double before getting a couple of flyouts in the 2nd. 1-2, good. Breaking ball got Jonah Shields. He's down swinging for the 2nd time.
And that's a good start for him coming back after giving up the 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Get that first guy, set the tone again like he did inning 1.
Kainoa Santiago flew out to Malachi his last time up. Santiago from Gonzaga. He's had the Pippins number in this series. Went 3 for 6 on Tuesday and went 1 for 3 last night with a couple of walks and a couple of runs scored.
I was watching the coaches after that first out. 2 of them out in front getting their defense set up. A lot of shifting in the outfield, making sure they're in the right spot for the left-handed batter.
And in the West Coast League, we have access to so much of the metrics that you see in pro ball that they're able to get scouting reports on guys and figure out their tendencies as to, are they a pull hitter, are they a push hitter, are they on the ground, are they in the air? And it's one of the things that makes this league so great, I think, is all of the advanced scouting that we can do so that guys that are used to that at their colleges can continue as Bodie gets back-to-back strikeouts on the breaking ball, making these top 3 hitters for Wenatchee look silly. That's 4 strikeouts to the first 3 hitters in the lineup.
And you can see Coach Crustangel and Coach Panch both looking at the sheet and then adjusting guys. So that side of the ball game, a lot of people don't realize. They don't understand that there's a lot of things that happen between batters.
Nico Pauletto, a pop-up on the infield. Coming in, Sotomayor. He says he's got it, and he's true to his word. So, Bodie Ramsey sets down the top 3 in the Wenatchee order for a second time tonight. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pippins looking for their first hit here at home.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Pippins send up 7, 8, and 9 in their order here in the bottom of the 3rd inning after putting on a mullet parade down on the field. It's Mullet Mania night tonight. We're going to have to get Panch on the camera here shortly. He's sporting a mullet. I was worried he would cut it off before the game started and make everybody a little bit sad, but Panch going to participate in Mullet Mania night tonight.
Well, and that's what he said last night when I was talking to him, that he was going to cut it before the game, but obviously he didn't do that.
1 ball and no strikes here to Malachi Emery Henderson. He had a hard double in his last at-bat of last night's game. He eventually scored a run. What does that do for a guy that's been struggling, to say the least?
You know, any kind of hard-hit ball is definitely going to give you that opportunity to feel like you're getting production. I was watching him in the cage today, and he struggled early, and I don't know if he wasn't just loose or not yet. The last few swings he had, he hit the ball hard again. So I think it's a timing thing right now for him.
2 balls and a strike here to the hard-swinging lefty as the count now evens right at the top of the zone. Seems like to these lefties, everything a little bit up and a little bit away is going to be called a strike right now. At least that's how Jacob Fisher has established his strike zone. 2-2. Too far away to get the strike. Count runs full.
Yeah, no, and it to me, what I'm seeing, it's pretty consistent. Seems like he's calling that same spot on the outer edge. He's given each one of them. Doesn't matter left or right. You know, and as a coach, you can live with that if you know it's going to be consistent.
Payoff. Malachi late on a fastball. That is now 4 strikeouts for Nico Crowley.
Probably one of those who's a little bit above the zone that he wanted to be swinging at. Too close to take, but just a hair above what he likes to swing at.
So here comes another West Coast League vet in the form of Jackson Upton. Spent a couple seasons at Yakima Valley College. That's part of the reason he's here this summer. And then most recently at St. Martin's, which is a D2 university. Wave and a miss on a changeup. He spent time with Springfield in 2024. Had a little bit of time in Ridgefield in 2025. Now here with Yakima Valley in 2026. Seeing all sorts of places in the south part of the WCL. Late on a fastball, 0-2. 222 is his batting average, although only 9 at-bats.
Yeah, small sample size, like you were saying with batter earlier. It's hard to get a real good judge of what he can and can't do at the plate.
0-2 breaking ball, left upstairs.
That's a good miss. You know, he missed on it, but 0-2, you don't want to leave it in the zone. Try to see if you can climb the ladder and get him to just chase one maybe above the zone.
1-2, heads up in the press box, right over top of the roof. That was the perfect line if it was just a little bit lower.
That's about 3 feet lower. It's right inside the press box.
Trying to add to our dent collection.
It's probably about where the PA guys are at.
I would think so. They repainted in here over the offseason as that pitch misses in 2-2.
Well, you know the press box we have in North Platte. We actually had one in the press box the other day. Wasn't on a line, but it was on a bounce. It bounced up, hit the cement, jumped right inside the window.
Out to center field. Upton will be out number 2 on the flyout.
Your sister ended up with the baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Went in the window next to her, bounced off the wall. She grabbed it. She tossed it back down to the guys down at the dugout in front.
See, I wouldn't have been that nice. I would have just kept it. Although I do have access to our baseballs here, so I've got 3 or 4 of them hanging out in the press box with me. Some of them are still in the wrapping. A shot by Hubka, and Dunn, the second baseman, able to range back and catch it. Well, Nico Crowley goes 9 up and 9 down through the Pippins order the first time. We go to the 4th inning, 2-0 Wenatchee here at the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Here's a look at the aforementioned mullet parade they had down on the field in between, not this half inning, but between the top of the half and the bottom of the half of the third. There's quite a few different hairstyles out there. I don't know if all of them count as mullets, but
I'd like to know how many of them got haircuts here at the ballpark. I know some of the people I was watching come in already had mullets, but I'm curious to how many actually sat down in a chair and trusted somebody to start doing a mullet on their head right here at the ballpark.
4th inning, it's 4, 5, and 6. Landon White reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. He would score unearned against Bodie Ramsey on the home run by the on-deck hitter Joe Copeland. There was a time in my life that my hair was kind of crazy, and I on purpose didn't give Shay any photos from that time so that they couldn't appear here on the broadcast.
We might be able to find one real quick. I'm guessing Shay could put it up there if he really wanted to.
I guess that's up to the powers to be behind us.
He's Googling me. I can see him Google me in my monitor. 2 balls and a strike. I don't think any of those pictures that I'm referencing are going to be when you Google me, Shay. I've done a pretty good job of keeping myself fairly clean on the
But your
interwebs.
mother disappeared from behind us. So
Oh no. 3 balls and a strike. Bodie Ramsey to Landon White. I'm scared now. I should have never even brought it up. White fouls that at the plate. The count runs full. Did you ever have crazy hair? I don't think we'll have pictures to prove that. I hope your mom is listening tonight.
Oh, I'm sure she is. It was a little longer. I don't know that it was that long.
Payoff from Bodie. And that, where did that miss? Ball 4 to Landon White.
Pretty sure Jackson Upton was asking that same question. You don't usually see a catcher turn around to talk to an umpire, but he literally turned around, took his mask off, and asked him.
Let's take a look. That's a pretty good pitch to me.
Yeah, that what we get to see on the delayed stream replay for us, or that may have been just a straight-up replay. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
There's ball 1 to Joe Coupland. You're not going to pitch him inside at all on this at-bat if you can help it, because he pulled a ball 387 feet down the left field line the last time he was up. There's a breaking ball downstairs, 2-0, and you can't criticize umpires. They're doing a very difficult job. But for a pitcher, when you think you have strike 3 and all of a sudden it's ball 4, that can derail you a little bit.
Yeah, no, that can change the whole momentum, especially nobody out. Instead of 1 out, nobody on, it's, 1 on and nobody out. That just changes your complete mindset of how you attack the next hitter.
It's 2-1 here to Copeland. Took a couple of pitches, but a breaking ball fell in for a strike from Bodie. Two-1 is a little bit quicker of a breaking ball. That's down and in. 3-1. Oh, I just got a text. Your dad wouldn't let me cut his curls off in high school, quote from Grandma Johnson.
She's getting a little older. I'm not sure her memory's all there.
Ground ball out to Daichi. Might be 2. No, just going to take the 1. Farahata, strong throw across the diamond for the first out of the 4th.
I don't know if you saw the comment when you put your normal Facebook post on last night. Her comment was, well, this should be interesting. That's kind of how I took it. Not as, oh, this will be a good broadcast. It was more of, how's this going to work? So she deserves the.
I'm going to stay on the good side of this and not run my mouth anymore.
That's because they're coming out here in a couple weeks, and you're going to want probably an extra meal or 2 while they're out here.
Well, but I also have to remember my brother hasn't been out here to a game yet. He came out last year before the season started, so I'm pretty sure he's coming out with them. And I think he has some wild ideas that he wants to go see the Pacific Ocean, which is something I haven't yet done. There's an off day that we'll be able to go do some things, but I don't think he quite realizes just how far away the ocean is from here. It's still about another 3.5, 4 hours. 3 balls and no strikes to Cooper Brass, who was the first out of the 2nd inning. Bodie did not have a walk entering the 4th inning. He led off the inning with Landon White taking the base on balls.
Now, he can't completely say he hasn't seen the ocean, because when we left last year from Seattle, we were on the side of the plane where we got to see the ocean taken off.
Ball 4. And I will argue with you about that you saw the Puget Sound, not the Pacific Ocean proper. Still quite a bit of water.
Get a pretty good look when you're up in the air.
James Castagnola hitting here with 1 out. You're a ground ball away from getting out of the inning. Bodie Ramsey running into a little bit of trouble here in the 4th. Got the strike there on the top part of the zone. 0-1 to Castagnola. Doubled back in the 2nd inning, was left stranded.
There's only been one base runner left on the pad so far for either team. It was Castagnola back in the second. The Pippins have been 9 up, 9 down. Bodie hopefully looking to strand a couple here with 1 out here in the top of the fourth, excuse me.
Yeah, and he would take another strikeout, possibly a double play ball, get himself out of it.
Half swing, but going to say, yep, there's the appeal, and Clayton Kellogg says there was no swing. Reason I said bottom, not to throw Shea under the bus, but it does still say bottom 3 on our score bug. He's running solo. I got to give him credit for doing the job he's doing.
He's running that camera that you see that comes from behind the plate, plus he's putting all the information in OBS for the stream.
Ball at the feet, and Upton unable to pick it up in time before the runners advance. So here in the top of the fourth inning, is that a wild pitch or a pass ball?
That would be a wild pitch. It was in the dirt. He did a good job of stopping it. He thought it got by him. Instead, it was right underneath his feet. Good read by the runner at second base to see that he did not know where he was at.
2-2 with the infield pulled in, and it's fouled away. Well, we got the top half correct.
You're trying to say it's the top of
there
the fourth?
We go. Thank you, Shea. Marcos will be back eventually, and then we can rib into him. 2-2, a fair ball past first base. This is going to score 2. Another perfectly placed ball by the AppleSox as Castagnola is now 2 for 2, and the throw-in gets away, which will allow him second base for the second time today. 4-0 AppleSox, a hit and an error by Yakima Valley.
Miscommunication between Upton and Sotomayor. Upton thought the first baseman was going to cut it off, which I thought he was too. The last second he pulled out, ball was offline, and Upton unable to react quick enough to knock it down.
And unfortunately for Luis Garcia, that is an error on him on the throw.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a tough error because he threw it through his cutoff man like he's supposed to, but because the cutoff man didn't catch it and then the ball gets by, you got to give the error on the throw. But, yeah, that's a tough error.
Here's the look, as that's 2 or 3 now that we've seen just past that first base bag. And with the infield pulled in, Sotomayor did not have much time at all to react. Levi let the ball go through. Upton wasn't ready for it. And part of that might have been Upton seeing the run already score.
Well, and the other side, I don't want to throw Bodie Ramsey under the bus. His job after that ball's hit's got to be back here behind the catcher as the backup guy. If he's back here, then the runner probably doesn't move up because he then catches it and holds him in place. So that's one of those that I'm sure the coaches will have a long conversation with everybody to make sure they're on the same page.
So now man at second for Ethan Marr. Ramsey misses high and tight with ball 1 here. Marr flew out to left field back in the second inning. Bodie's had no problem with the first 3 hitters in the Wenatchee order. It's 4 through 9 that have seemingly give him fits. More specifically, 4 through 7. Strike 1 there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now I think Jacob Fisher's hearing it from both dugouts on his strike zone.
But that's the same call that we've seen to the left-handed batter, that pitch just on the outer edge.
1-1. Late on the swing is Marr. It's 1-2.
So like I said earlier, as long as he's consistent with it, coaches will tell their players, you're going to have to adjust. If he's going to call it, then you're going to have to recognize, find a way to put it in play.
Off the end of the bat, foul. Bodie looking for his 5th strikeout tonight.
That was that same pitch, maybe a hair outside of what we just saw. He did a good job of recognizing, hey, that's going to be too close. I got to protect, put it in play, put it foul, give yourself another shot.
One, 2. Oh, again, a tough miss for Bodie.
That's the one that makes you frustrated right there. He definitely thought he hit that same spot that got the strike call a second ago, and that one didn't go his way.
And now Jacob Fisher issuing a warning to Coach Crustangel. Crusty, I heard through my headsets, asked if that was low. And so Jacob Fisher turning and telling Coach that's enough. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Ground ball, first base side. Sotomayor, nobody's going to be there to cover the bag. Infield single for Ethan Marr. Runners are going to be at the corners with only 1 out, and when it rains, it pours here in the 4th inning.
Well, and I think that's a frustration error for Bodie right there. He thought he was out of that at-bat with the strikeout. Instead, he does not get the weak ground ball to first base. The first baseman's well off the bag, and Bodie forgot to go cover the bag.
Here's Rafael Dunn, the number 9 hitter. Double play is in order. The corners are going to play in with the man at third. Dunn flew out to right field back in the 2nd inning. Breaking ball, similar spot to the fastball, called a strike by Jacob Fisher. Bodie having to deal with some adversity today, as this will not be a candidate for a double play. Lucky to get an out. The Pippins will not. A 5th run scores for the AppleSox, and all of this happening with 1 out.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about that one. Nick Velasquez coming in, high chopper. He tried to field it and shovel it as quick as he could. The runner beat it out either way. He did everything he could to get the ball there, but there's just nothing you can do but almost just put it in your pocket and say, well, it is what it is.
Pippins have a few guys stretching and throwing down in the bullpen.
It showed exit velo of 77 on that hit. Looked more like about 47.
Well, it took a huge hop off the apron there in front of the plate. Peering down towards the bullpen for Yakima Valley, trying to get a look at who's up and throwing. The netting is right in my way, trying to look down that line. As the count now 1-1 here to the top of the order, Jonas Shields.
Yeah, it's great netting as far as protecting the fans, but you're on a line that is looking right down it, so it actually just kind of turns black for us looking down through there.
1-1 breaking ball sent into the concourse over by Hub's Grill, 1-2. This is Torrin Eggy warming up for Yakima Valley, wearing number 99, like the Wild thing.
Does he have his mullet then, since you're going to talk about the Wild thing?
Torrin, I think, is more so focusing on the facial hair. 1-2, a touch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Torrin, big, tall right-hander from Seattle, Washington. Services might need to be called upon here in the 4th. 2-2 again out of play. This one will exit the ballpark. $5-0 AppleSox here. 3 straight hits for Wenatchee after a couple of walks in the early parts of this 4th inning. This is the 7th hitter to come to the plate. 2-2 breaking ball upstairs, and now with a full count, you got runners at first and second in danger of loading the bases.
When you look at the 3 runs on the board, I'm trying to think back. Really, there hasn't been any ball hit very hard. Been hit in the right spots. The one down the line, the bouncer back to second. Just, a lot of balls just. Go ahead.
Upstairs ball 4. The walk will load the bases, and Coach Crustangel out of the dugout waiting for Jonas Shields to make it to first base. And he's going to end the night for Bodie Ramsey tonight. Tough way to pitch here on a Thursday night for Bodie. Of course, great things in store for him, headed to UNLV in the fall, but just didn't quite have the help behind him tonight as some balls snuck through the infield, and we'll get the numbers on Torrin Eggy when we come back in the top of the 4th here at the Orchard.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
New pitcher into the contest for Yakima Valley as Bodie Ramsey exits. It's Torin Egge from Whitman College. Native of Seattle, Washington, went to Ingraham High School. On the season for Yakima Valley, pitching in his 5th game, 4 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 6 walks, 1 hit, but no earned runs. So a 0 ERA for Torin, trying to get out of this situation here for the Pippins. It's bases loaded with Wenatchee having Ethan Marr at 3rd, Raphael Dunn at 2nd, and Jonas Shields at first base after a walk. Bodie Ramsey unable to make it out of the 4th inning tonight. First,
you wonder how much of the fact that he signed earlier in the day had that, in his mind, and maybe he wanted to do a little more than what he had been.
first pitch nearly hits Kainoa Santiago. That would have drove home another run. Egge about 88 on the fastball. He's got his changeup as well. Foul tip and held on to by Upton to even the count 1-1. Always tough to inherit a bases loaded situation, especially with only one out, but you got to know you're only a ground ball away from getting out of the inning. Pippins just seemingly haven't found that ground ball in this series. 2 balls and a strike now to Santiago, who is 0 for 2 today.
He had a double play ball early in the game last night. But really, other than that, we haven't seen many opportunities.
Two 1 into the stands. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's really been strikeout or flyout. Everything on the ground seemingly has gotten through for Wenatchee. That's just the dumb luck you get in baseball sometimes.
Yeah, no, you look at the box score, a hit's a hit. You don't know whether it's a solid single or a, dribbler someplace.
Counts full here now to Kainoa Santiago. Was certainly for Egge, the 3 runs on the base paths don't belong to him, but you hate giving up inherited runners just the same. Payoff pitch. Half swing. Did he go? No, and a walk will bring home the 6th run for the AppleSox.
That one, I wonder if you have 4 umpires and you have a guy over at third base, if that call goes a little different. It's a tough situation when you got a 2-man crew, because right now your field umpire is standing out there in not center field, but behind the pitcher's mound. He doesn't have a real good look at that. So if there's a guy standing at third, that might change that a lot.
So a 6th run comes home credited to Bodie Ramsey. He's got 2 more out there in scoring position as Egge misses downstairs ball 1.
Yeah, this is a situation as a reliever. You come in, you want to get the guy out so bad at home, but you also got to trust yourself. You go up there, you throw a good pitch, let him put it in play, find a way to let him hit the ball into an out. Sometimes pitchers come in and feel like they have to strike out everybody to finish that inning.
Egge even in the count here 1-1. Was able to get Nico Pauletto, the 9th hitter here in the frame, to swing through 90 miles an hour. Goes with the breaking ball that time, and now the count favors Torin. Big pitch up coming here. Still got quite a bit of baseball left to play, but the more the lead balloons, the less and less you feel a comeback able to be mad.
We talked a little bit pregame about giving up the 4 or 5 run spots. We're at 4. Obviously, a base hit here might turn that into a 6 spot. Those are the times when it gets real difficult to work your way back. You want to try to minimize any additional runs at this point because you're getting halfway through the game. You just have less and less opportunities.
1-2 downstairs with 88. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The guys out on the short porch are asking for a K out there, it looks like.
That they are. They've got 4 of them so far for Bodie Ramsey. 2-2. Breaking ball took into left field for a base knock. Malachi up with it cleanly, and 1 run is all that's going to come home for the AppleSox. The Wenatchee hitters have now batted around here in the 4th as Landon White, who started this inning with a walk, comes up for the 2nd time. RBI single for Nico Pauletto makes it 7-0.
Good job by Emery Henderson to come charging in on that, get it quickly, get it back into the infield, hold that to just a 1-run RBI instead of 2. Gives you an opportunity to still turn a double play and get out of the inning.
Hard ground ball. This is off of Velasquez. He regathers and everybody's safe. That took a wicked hop right from the glove into the body of Nick Velasquez. It's going to go down as an error for Nick, but I don't know what you're supposed to do there in that situation.
That's a tough error. That ball had a lot of spin off it coming off the bat, and when it hit the ground, it kicked at him. It's kind of like a catcher's trying to block a curveball. It bounced back the opposite direction a little bit on him. Probably fortunate he was able to get the glove on it and keep it in front of him enough to not allow another runner to come in after that one.
So Torneggi still without an out here, as he might get it here. Upton chasing it back towards the stands. Will it stay in play? Can't see it. The ball dropped, according to Jacob Fisher. We have a terrible angle right up there against the warning track.
I think he actually caught it, but Fisher said that it hit the netting at the last second.
I'd say most everywhere in this ballpark, we have a great angle on everything, but right up against the backstop is so hard to see.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was trying to watch the netting and see if it would shake as the ball was coming down. And Upton caught it, but I'm pretty sure that is what the umpire was saying, is that the last second before it got to the glove, it glanced off the netting.
So unable to steal a free out there off the bat of Joe Coupland, who went yard back in the 2nd inning. Close the book on Bodie Ramsey. It's 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts for Bodie. Everybody on base now is Torneggi's responsibility, as another ground ball is past the diving Levi, covering the bag Torin. There's out number 2. Another run's going to score, and it's 9-0 Wenatchee.
Important thing there is they got another out. Give them that confidence now. Okay, we've got that out. Now we got to find a way to get the 3rd out here without giving up the next 2 runners. Agee did a good job of recognizing his first baseman who went headlong after the ball. He knew he had to get over to the bag. Otherwise, there's no place to throw the ball.
So here's Cooper Brass, 0 for 1, a line out and a walk with a run scored earlier on in this frame. Bender in there for strike 1. This is the 12th hitter of the inning for Wenatchee. All of it started with a leadoff walk to Landon White. There was a ground out the next batter. And then all of the runs so far that have scored coming with only 1 out.
And there again, nothing has been hit overly hard. Had some solid base hits into the outfield, but nothing has been over anybody's head to where, multiple guys have come around on the bases. It's kind of been just station to station. And
2 balls and a strike here to Brass, the shortstop today. Well, the Pippins in these cream uniforms with a winning record, they're going to need a mountain of runs
throughout the rest of this game to improve on that. They're 2-1 in the creams. With the green pants, though, 1-1. They won their first game wearing the greens. They lost their next game wearing the green pants.
It's definitely a different look. I'm going to kind of leave it at that.
Agreed.
All right, how about everybody make some noise for us?
I think over time it eventually grows on you, but I still haven't gotten quite used to the dark pants. I think that's what throws me off the most. 3-1 with first base open. It's a line shot into right field. One run's going to come home to score. It's now 10-0 Wenatchee on an RBI single by Cooper Brass, and Pippins just can't buy an out.
Yeah, another one of those. That's not a hard hit ball. That's a, yes, it had an exit velo of 97 according to the matrix, but it was one of those that's just hit right between the first baseman and the second baseman, right at the left or the right fielder. So it's just one of those. It seems like everything that's been put in play is not near a Pippin at the moment.
Here's James Castagnola, the 13th hitter of the inning for the AppleSox. Buzzing the tower there, 1-0. Castagnola, 2 for 2 today. Double, 2 RBI single. He scored earlier in this frame. We're more than an hour into the game, and if I had to guess, we're nearing 20 to 30 minutes in this top half of the inning.
Yeah, been a long half inning.
2 balls and no strikes. Pippins did have an 8 spot themselves at this ballpark last week against the Bend Elks. Unfortunately, it came in a losing effort on last Wednesday's game, falling 15-13. So crazier things have happened.
Well, it means they know that they can put runs up. So you can't go, okay, well, this game's over. We're only in the top of the 4th inning. A lot of at-bats left. It's kind of a little bit like last night. We were talking, you don't have to get it all back, in the bottom of the inning. You start chipping away and get a few runs, couple here, couple there. All of a sudden, you start putting some pressure on them.
3-0 ball to the backstop. It's a walk for Castagnola, and now it's 11-0 Wenatchee as the wild pitch way above the glove of Upton scores another run.
Yeah, and that's probably one of those Upton's going to tell you he probably should have caught it. He's reaching high, and you know that's one that he probably feels like it. I'm not sure what the scoring ended up, whether it was a wild pitch or a pass ball, but it's kind of in that borderline area. As a catcher, when you're looking for something down in the zone and it's above your head, it's hard to get the glove up that fast.
Hit by pitch, loads the bases. Ethan Marr plunked. I don't know what else to tell you here, Dad.
Coach Crest Angel is on his way and has already made the call. So we're going to have a new arm.
Eggy comes into the game, able to get an out, but the AppleSox leading the Pippins 11-0 on only 7 hits. The bases are loaded, and we'll be right back here to the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Well, here's Shay's revenge against me for pointing out some of his missed
graphics. There's a look at the former hair of Harmon Johnson. At least he pulled a baseball picture. Could have been one of those when I was at summer camp or somewhere else. At least it looks good with the cap on. That was an interesting time in my life with the hairstyle.
We probably should have done a little better job of prepping for this. I'm sure we could have come up with quite a few photos that were much worse than that one.
The night is not yet over here at the Orchard as Hound Tanaka comes into the game for the Pippins. He pitched the last inning of last night's contest, went 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. So Coach Crustangel, needing an out somewhere here, is going to Tanaka, who got 3 of them and 3 batters last night.
Yeah, no, a good opportunity here for him to, keep doing what he did last night. He pitched well in that last inning, and, hey, why not go back to him and see if he can get you a couple innings here and give your offense a chance to reset and find some runs.
So Tanaka, the second arm out of the bullpen. Torin Egi goes a third of an inning officially, giving up 2 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and so far there's been 3 runs that have come home that belong to him. 4, 5, and 6 are out there on the base pads. Cooper Brass, James Castagnola, and Ethan Marr. Fifteenth hitter of the inning for the AppleSox is Raphael Dunn. Here in a 1-1 count as Tanaka found a weird spot there on the landing area of the mound, tumbling down into the grass.
Yeah, I don't know if he hit maybe the hole from the previous pitchers or what, but he definitely did not land where he wanted to, and I'm sure it was exaggerated to make sure he didn't turn an ankle or something like that, just to make sure.
1-1 a strike. Dunn 1 for 2, a single, an RBI, and a flyout. It's been a very AppleSox heavy 4th inning so far. We haven't even gotten to the bottom half. 1-2 bounces away from Upton. Here comes a 12th run to score.
Just seems like what could go wrong in this inning has kind of gone wrong. We were talking a little bit between the pitchers there. There have been some mental errors. There have been a couple of errors. There hasn't been a lot of balls hit hard. It just seems like nothing has been hit in favor of the Pippins at the moment, and the little things have gone the wrong way.
That one almost got away from Upton. It's 2-2. Tanaka has a little bit more of a sidearm delivery, so if you hang on to the ball too long, it becomes a problem for your catcher trying to slide over and catch it on your knees.
It kind of turns into a little bit of a crossfire on him because it's coming so far across the body.
Payoff pitch is fouled back into the netting. Should have started a timer if I'd have known Wenatchee was going to put up 9 runs here on the top of the 4th inning. I do not know what the official time is right now. I'm sure we could go back on the stream and find the timestamp, but it's been a long time out there for the Pippins defense, and they're going to have to stay out there as Tanaka issues a walk to the first man he faces, and we're back to the top of the order again for the AppleSox. This is their 4th time to the top of the order, 2nd time to the top of the order here in the 4th inning, as they are 2 batters after Jonah Shields away from sending the entire order up twice.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's tough all the way around. Your fielders, your outfielders, kind of watching them. They haven't had to do a lot in this inning, and they're starting to stand stagnant. You get that ball hit at them, they may not be quite ready to play the ball.
Generous strike there by Jacob Fisher to start the count 0-1 to Jonas Shields.
Now, when I do the scorebook at the North Platte 80s games, mine's all on the computer. You're doing a manual scorebook here. How's that going to turn out as the night goes on?
On the ground, Hubka going to go the short way, and the top of the 4th inning comes to a close. 10 runs score. The score is 12-0. We can't even see the 10 on the scoreboard out in left field. And the Pippins, currently being perfect gamed against, need to get the sticks hot in the bottom of the 4th.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Top of the lineup card for Yakima Valley. The Wenatchee AppleSox score 10 runs on 5 hits and 2 Yakima Valley errors, leaving 3 on the base pads as Nico Crowley-Kohler is back out on the hill after a long pause, currently throwing a perfect game. That's tough to come back from after your offense is out there for 25 minutes.
Yeah, I peeked out at one point to see if maybe he'd gone to the bullpen to just, stay loose a little bit. I didn't see him down there. That's a long time sitting on the bench waiting.
1-1 is another generous strike from Jacob Fisher. Tyson ahead in the count now, 2-1. It's going to be a long night for the Pippins bats if that continues to be the trend in the strike zone.
Yeah, the left-handed bats, it seems like the outside edge of the plate is I'm going to say quite a ways out there.
Tyson, hard hit back up the middle, and where the Pippins couldn't get one to a fielder, this is right to the shortstop Brass, and out number 1 here in the 4th. Daichi Furuhata grounded out to the third baseman Castagnola back in the first inning.
Got to continue to stay within themselves, find a way to do what they did in BP as far as hitting the ball, make sure they're line driving it, back up the middle, not trying to do things that they don't typically do.
Daichi back up the middle, slowly hit. Dunn going to get over there. It's bobbled, and the Pippins have their first base runner. I thought for a moment that Dunn was going to slide and make that play. That's about how the night's been going for Yakima Valley, but it's ruled an error, so the Pippins still without a hit. But they do have a man on base.
Yeah, it went off of Dunn's glove, and then Brass picked it up and threw it across.
So it goes down as E4. Here's Nick Velasquez, as now Crowley going to have to go to the true stretch for the first time. A bouncing ball up the middle, a high hop. They're going to go to second base, and Brass able to keep his toe down to immediately get Daichi off the base pads.
And that's 3 balls right back up the middle. Shortstop made the play on the first one. Second one, the second baseman at the bag made it. Same thing there. So the approach is right. They're trying to hit the ball back up the middle, right back where it came from. Just not quite able to put enough wood on it to get it into center field.
Luis Garcia swinging on the first pitch. No balls and a strike. Luis popped up to the pitcher, Crowley, in the second inning. So the perfect game bid over. The no-hitter still intact, though, thanks to an error. Not very often do you think a pitcher thanks a fielder for an error behind him. 0-2 to Luis. Man, you feel how long that top half of the inning was. Now the Pippins with 2 outs about to give the ball right back to their defense.
Yeah, they definitely wanted to find a way to stay at the plate a little longer than what they are now. Now we're not done yet. Ball got away down there at the bullpen. Coach Crustangel retrieving it and throwing it back.
I didn't see it initially. I was like, what is Crusty going out to the line for?
It's kind of how the night's been for the Pippins.
1-2, hard hit, backhanded by Brass. He's going to throw across. The hop gets away. Moving up to third base is Nick Velasquez. Couple of errors in this inning for the AppleSox, and now the Pippins have him at the corners.
Not real sure why he didn't go the short way and just go to second base. Made that a long, hard throw after the good backhand. Off the bat, 101. Made a great one bounce scoop, and then across the diamond just couldn't make a good throw.
So here's Jay O'Neill trying to provide a little bit of spark here for Yakima Valley. Large contingent still here at the ballpark. The big balloon score hasn't driven them away quite yet. Hoping for a little bit of positivity here. O'Neill had a home run last night. That was his 3rd of the year. You've got Velasquez at 3rd, and you've got Garcia over there at 1st. Both men reached or got to where they're at thanks to an error. Jay trying to put on a show for the couple of schools that are looking at him. Perfect opportunity to do so here in a 12-0 game. That got a big piece of his front foot, it looked like, off of the protector, so he's just going to walk it off.
I don't know how much the protector it got or how much the actual foot it got, but you could tell he was in discomfort right off the bat.
So he falls behind 1-2. Pippins at the corners. The pitch from Crowley. Looper into right field, and Yakima Valley gets their first hit and their first run. Luis Garcia goes first to third. Jay O'Neill gets the Pippins on the board.
Now it's a good piece of hitting. He didn't try to do too much with that. Just a nice, solid line drive into right field to get that first hit for the Pippins. You know, that might be the spark they need. Just get that one run across. Opportunity to just keep moving things. Another base hit, scores another one. Like I said, you can't get it all back at once, so take your time, find a way to get a few base hits. Maybe somebody can pop one at one point, but continue to just what I would say move the line.
Sotomayor up there taking ball 1. Plenty of game left. If you can find a way to hang some zeros after that 10 spot, like you said, the top has been slowly cracked off of the bottle here. Trying to get 3 runs on that swing for Sotomayor. It's now 1-1. You've got guys in this lineup that can make a big impact. Sotomayor has a lot of seeing eye singles. Malachi down in the on-deck circle starting to get hot, it seems like. 1-1. Here comes the souvenir for general admission. It went right over the head of the lady sitting up there on the top row.
Didn't make it out of the ballpark?
It did. No, it bounced right
then
off
bounced
the bleachers.
over top?
Yeah. So again, a 2-strike approach going to have to be had by these Pipps. We've got Garcia at 3rd, O'Neill at 1st. 1-2, back where it came from into center field for a base knock. Luis Garcia scores. Pippins have him 1st and 2nd with 2 away as they get 2 of the 10 back to cut it to a 10-run lead.
And there again, another good job of good hitting. Didn't try to do too much with it. With 2 strikes, he cut down a little bit on his swing. Only an exit velo of 83 off the bat, but it was a solid line drive into center field. Didn't try to do too much with it.
I asked you this a couple of nights ago.
the situation for Emory Henderson probably was last night too. Coming in a situation with runners aboard, the fact that he's been slumping, now he has a chance to reignite this crowd. Swinging first pitch, it's foul, out of play.
And one thing I think he's got to get out of his mind, he knows he has the power that he can hit the ball out of the ballpark to right field. He's got to kind of block that out a little bit and just put a good swing on it, not try to hit a 3-run home run. Put a good swing on it. If you hit a 3-run home run, great, but just stay within yourself and drive the ball somewhere.
One ball and one strike here to Emory Henderson. A lot of this production coming with 2 outs for Yakima Valley, a lot of it coming on 2-strike pitches.
Yeah, well, cut down on the swing. That was something I said last night. I think it was with Henderson at the bat, or maybe we were talking about it. Just cut down just a little bit. Make sure you're making contact.
2 balls and a strike here as Crowley facing some adversity here in the first time, here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Saw 9 up and 9 down, actually 10 up and 10 down before Daichi Furuhata reached on an error.
Well, and after that long inning, him sitting, he came out, got 2 quick outs, but all of a sudden it's kind of like it almost is affecting him now versus the first few pitches.
Long pause before the delivery, got to be near the end of the timer. 2-1, a breaking ball handcuffed Malachi, 2-2.
O'Neill dancing around a lot out at second base. He was a long ways off for a little bit.
Of course, we don't have a physical timer here in the ballpark, so unable to really know when the 20 seconds is winding down, but we were probably close on that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Malachi. He'll watch ball 3, and so getting a head start is O'Neill and Sotomayor at first and second.
That means anything in the gap to the wall most likely will score 2. And there again, chip away. If you could somehow get a couple more here.
Payoff pitch upcoming to Malachi Emory Henderson. A wave and a miss. 89 at the top of the strike zone. But Yakima Valley gets 2 runs on the board here in the bottom of the 4th. The lead is 10 for Wenatchee. We go to the 5th inning here at Yakima County Stadium.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Here on the top of the 5th inning, if you haven't been to the ballpark yet, come check out the new Hunky Shaw's team store. New and improved location. Got all sorts of new gear for this season. A couple of Father's Day shirts left over, and then look at that hat wall. I one day would love to have a hat wall like that in whatever man cave that I get at whatever house I end up getting, with all the different hats from the places I've been, places I've worked. I think that'd be cool. All sorts of new era hats down there for you to choose from.
I guess when you find your place of your own, you can start that collection.
Hound Tanaka stays in the game here, facing Kainoa Santiago, Nico Pauletto, and Landon White here in the 5th inning. Wave and a miss, 78 miles an hour.
This is probably a crucial inning right here for the Pippins. Need to find a way to put a 0 up, or if nothing else, 1, not let the lead get extended any more than where we're at. You got 2 to get a little life. Now you got to get your pitcher and your defense to put a 0 up so that the offense feels like we can still do something.
That's a silly wave and a miss by Kainoa Santiago. You asked me at the end of the inning when the AppleSox sent everybody but 2 up twice how the scoring works on my physical book. I have 15 innings I can work with. Hopefully we don't get to that situation. High and tight, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The only problem with going 15 is I only have 11 before you get into the columns for at-bats, runs, hits, all your totals.
Get run out of spots to put things, huh? Now we're talking making sure you're looking at the batter's looking at you before you start home.
Yeah, the rule is the hitter has to make eye contact or engage with the pitcher before the pitcher is allowed to come set.
Well, and I find it interesting by the AppleSox. There's a few batters that are very much used to having a pitch timer off to their side. If you watch this particular batter set up, his head is looking more towards the Pippins dugout like he's looking at a clock, but there's no clock over there. And I think that's a component of they're so used to watching the clock to time it down, and then they look forward.
One of the many ways that hitters have been allowed to control the speed of the game now with the new rules. And as a pitcher, you understand that you're the one that gets the ball first and the hitters are the one that step out all the time, but it does seem just a little bit unfair that you can't come set before a guy makes eye contact. I get delivering before the guy makes eye contact, but coming set seems to be one of those things that, as there's ball 4 to Kainoa Santiago, his 2nd walk of the day, just because you come set doesn't mean you're going to pitch. And if the umpires or the governing body, whoever it can be, can enforce, hey, you cannot start your delivery until engagement has been made, I think that's a little bit better, because there are some pitchers that enjoy coming set early, and they are not fazed by having to wait for anything.
Yeah, I think the one thing I see with the rule that I'd like to see changed is I don't like that the batter can stand in the box and not look at the pitcher for a long period, but he's in the box. To me, if he doesn't want to get in that box and get set, then he needs to stay out of the box, step in, look, and go, versus making the pitcher just stand there and wonder when he's finally going to look at me.
First pitch after the pickoff is right there at the letters for strike 1. This is Nico Pauletto, 1 for 3 today. Of course, the rules still fairly new. The pitch clock didn't come to college baseball until a couple of years ago, about the same time that it came to pro ball. Strike 2 here from Hound Tanaka. But as we're in a 12-2 game, I've got to bring up here, among the topic of rules, the new 5 for 5 that passed in the NCAA in terms of eligibility.
I am a little mixed on it. I like the fact that it is definitely laying out the guideline that you have 5.
Strikeout there by Tanaka. 1 away here in the 5th.
You have 5 years to play ball, and you're done. You're seeing so many of these situations now where you got guys that are they're red shirting and then they're medical red shirting, and all of a sudden they're at school 6-7 years because of different rulings, and this is going to take away from that. Here's 5 years. I'm not sure I like the fact that they can play 5 years. It's a start, obviously, and my feeling on the portal transfer rules and stuff. That's the next thing that has to change. It cannot be, okay, well, I'm going to have 5 years, but I'm going to go play at 5 different schools.
This is Landon White. He's been on base all 3 times tonight. He's scored 3 times tonight. He pulls one foul that would have been a definite home run. Instead, it's a long, loud strike 1 to even the count. You played collegiately. And when you were playing, there were limits on to
how you can transfer, where you can transfer, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a situation at that time. If you transferred from one school to another, you had to sit out a year. I mean, it was flat. You sat out a year. The only time that came into play was in that situation where maybe the coach left, or there was those type of deals where you could transfer and then play right away. But it was an automatic. You sit, for a year at that next school. And I like that thought, because you got too many of these kids, and some of the pundits that are out there are talking about these kids are going to college to get an education first. You can't tell me that you're getting an education if you're going to 5 different schools in 5 years. There's no way you're getting a true solid education changing schools every year.
So if you're unfamiliar with the rules we're talking about for the NCAA Division I, the cabinet, as the 2-2 pitch, is served out into center field. O'Neill came in. Now he goes back, and he misread that ball up into the clouds. It's going to be a double for Landon White. Stopping at third is Kainoa Santiago. A rare miscue for Jay out in center field. He came in at the start, and he must have just been fooled off the bat.
Yeah, no, he definitely broke in and to the side like this was going to be a routine ball. And actually, I thought it was, the way he went after it. He's like he just kind of coasting over it, and then all of a sudden he changed his course, and at that point it was too late. It was going to be over his head. So it's one of those sometimes in the gray skies as the night goes down, we're in that time zone where the lights aren't fully effect, but the sun's not out. Sometimes it's not as easy to see the ball off the bat.
So, getting back into the discussion, Joe Coupland here has 3 RBI. 5 years to play 5 seasons, essentially, is what it is. You get 5 years of eligibility once your clock begins. It eliminates redshirting. And essentially, basically, the academic year after your 19th birthday or when you enroll in college starts the timer. And so you don't need red shirts, you don't need waivers anymore to get an extra year of eligibility back. And the interesting thing to me, as here comes the 1-1 to Coupland, popped up into the stands, is the student athletes that had a year remaining, did not use a red shirt this year, will be grandfathered in and can use this new rule to gain an extra year. The students for next recruiting cycle, not this one, but the next one, will be the first ones to truly use the 5 and 5.
Yeah, I hate to say it, it's a little bit.
Strike 3, Tanaka punches out his second.
It's a little bit like going back to the COVID stuff, where all of a sudden, because of COVID, you ended up, and you had athletes that were in school for 6 or 7 years because they got an extra year because of COVID, and then maybe they got a red shirt and then got a medical red shirt. If nothing else, this will make it so defined that you have 5 years, and that's all you got. It doesn't matter how you do it. If they say it's taking the red shirt year away, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's taking a red shirt away. You may have a year where you don't have to worry about now. Instead of, say, football, now you're in that situation of, well, okay, if I only play 4 games, I can still take a red shirt year. This takes away any of those questions. It just basically puts it as you have 5 years to play 5 years. Before it was you had 5 years to play, or you had 5 years to play 4, basically. Then they added in the whole grad transfer to it, and it was so complicated to understand where guys were at, or athletes were at.
On the ground, Daichi stabs it with 2 outs. He's going to throw across the diamond to first, and we're halfway home here at the Orchard. We'll continue the discussion about the new rules and everything else as the Pippins try to mount a comeback. 12-2 the score as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Yeah, there's another look. That's a better picture, though, because I'm actually in action here. That was back to the Hirschland Trojans days back in Legion Ball. You were my coach back then, Dad. I had some crazy hair during the summers.
Yeah, you always, thought you had to have the long flowing hair coming out of your hat. I'm not sure what picture you thought you were emulating.
I don't know. I like those uniforms, though.
Looking at that picture there, it definitely shows me you did not get down off the mound very well.
That was early on. I know exactly what year that was from.
Your back leg's still down, your front leg's down. There's no momentum going forward.
That's from my freshman year. That was before I really learned how to pitch.
Is that back when you were throwing about 45 mile an hour?
It wasn't that slow, but yes.
Thanks, Shay.
Shay getting his revenge after I criticized a couple of his graphics for getting the dates wrong. I know now never to do that again. Bottom of the fifth inning here at the Orchard, Yakima County Stadium. This is Jackson Upton with an excuse me tapper. Everybody froze as the ball is fielded in foul territory. That was nearly a base hit for Upton.
Well, we saw one of those earlier in the game. The AppleSox had one of those where it was, it was popped up right back to the pitcher. Fortunately, that one stayed foul. Catcher did a good job of jumping up and grabbing it, but it was definitely in foul territory.
And now the field umpire going to come in to talk with the home plate umpire, Jacob Fisher, Clayton Kellogg, the crew. And Mitch Darlington was asking for a little bit of a discussion here to see if there was a better angle, but the ball definitely bounced on the foul side of the chalk line.
Yeah, and there can't be interference because the ball's in foul territory, so you can't have interference on that.
And it is a foul ball. Coaching staff for the AppleSox just making sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe that was his question of did the batter interfere with the player having an opportunity, the catcher having an opportunity to make the play. But like I said, if the ball's in foul territory, you cannot have interference.
This is still Nicho Crowley. 0-1 is swung on and missed. It's 0-2. So Upton, Hubka, and then back to the top of the order here for the Pippins as they try to mount a comeback. They got 2 of the needed 12 in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
And they got that shutdown inning at the top of the inning. Like I said, if there's a way to put a 0 up, that gives your offense a chance to look at that and go, okay, our pitchers did not give up any. Here's our chance to maybe add 2 more, maybe 3 more, whatever, If they don't feel like they're having to chase more runs than what they're already chasing, that makes it easier.
1-2, Upton lays off. So now 2-2. This is where we saw Crowley run into some issues, was finishing batters in the fourth inning.
And the Pippins did a good job with two strikes of just cutting that swing down enough to just line the ball somewhere.
Upton cannot pull the trigger on that breaking ball. So Jackson is out number 1 here in the fifth.
Everything away, then come in and busted him inside on the inner third, just froze him.
Here's Cole Hubka lined out to the second baseman Dunn back in the third inning. Pippins going to send their leadoff man back to the plate for the third time here in the fifth inning, but when you look across the scorecard and Wenatchee going through their fourth trip and about to be done with it, it's a little bit defeating. But, of course, you've still got the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and the 9th inning if necessary if you're Yakima Valley.
Yeah, a lot of outs to play with. It's not like it's, we got to have, 10 in 2 innings. And that I'm sure was the mindset in the dugout from the coaches. They're probably like, guys, we don't have to have them all back right now. Let's just find a way to get a couple.
That's a foul tip for strike number 2. Hubka has been a very good secondary leadoff man from the 9-hole for Yakima Valley. And we saw that last night when he picked up a single in the 3rd inning that he eventually would score. He was 2 for 4 last night. As he stings it again out towards second. Dunn up with it. And 2 away here in the 5th.
Now remember, bottom of the 4th, there was 2 outs, nobody on. That's when the Pippins went to work and got their 2 runs.
Tyson Miller going to have to find a way aboard here. Yeah, that 4th inning, there was out 1 on a ground out by Miller, and then Daichi reached on an error. He was forced out on a fielder's choice. So 2 away, 1 on. With the fielder's choice, Nick Velasquez and Luis Garcia would both come around to score thanks to a couple errors and a couple of hits by O'Neill and Sotomayor. Tyson over the head of the shortstop Brass, a 2-out single for Yakima Valley. Here's the 2-out rally, as you just mentioned.
And another ball up the middle, line drive. So they continue to do a good job of find a way to put it back up the middle. And that's an encouraging thing as I watch it, because you got guys that are not trying to just yank on the ball, trying to hit home runs. They're doing a good job of, I'm going to stay within myself. I'm going to line drive it someplace.
Daichi Furuhata reached on the error in the 4th inning by Dunn, but then was forced out at second base. He backs away and takes ball 1 here. Interesting stat that I wasn't aware of. They've got it up on the scoreboard in Daichi's 21 games. I believe he's played 22, but 341 batting average is very respectable. Daichi's going to rip one down the left field line, carrying off the Richie Rierson banner. Tyson getting the wave as the ball ricochets back into the grass. The Pippins score another 2-out run, and it's 12-3.
And a really good approach. He didn't try to lift that and yank it out of the ballpark. He hit a hard line drive. It just happened to be to where it was in a power spot for him. 100 mile an hour off the bat. It hit the wall, took a big bounce back past the left fielder, so he had to go chase it down. But, there again, the guys are not trying to get away from the approach that they've been working on.
More 2-out life for Yakima Valley. As here's Nick Velasquez. Scored the Pippins' first run of the game back in the 4th inning. Looking back through my scorebook, Pippins scored back-to-back times in the 5th and the 6th last night, 1 run apiece. But before that, you have to go back to the weekend against Salem when they got 1 run in the 7th and 2 runs in the 8th on Father's Day to help solidify the win. No balls, 2 strikes. Velasquez takes another one of those strikes on the outer part of the plate.
That's a good breaking ball there, right on the outer edge. And when you're looking maybe something middle in, and then that backdoor breaking ball, it's hard to pull the trigger at that point.
A waste pitch high and away, 1-2. And so again, 2 strikes here. The Pippins seem to do a lot of damage today with the 2 strikes and 2 outs. Gives you hope for the ending of this game, knowing that they're going to fight till the last pitch.
Absolutely. It's continue to cut down and just battle a little bit.
1-2, and Nick stays alive.
Well, and I got the luxury to be down there and watch batting practice the last couple days. Obviously, I'm not here all the time, don't see it. There was a lot of guys with a lot of good approach of hitting the ball middle and away, middle away, and Coach Pants was talking to one of the guys about it, of getting the hands out in front just a little more, then, hit it away.
1-2. Nick watches one down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So it's definitely being taught and explained, here's the way to do that. And with 2 strikes, you have to protect, and this is a chance to protect, but find a way to just line drive the ball the other direction.
Pippins scored 2 in the 4th. They scored once already here in the 5th. You've got Daichi out there at second base. 2-2 breaking ball. Nick couldn't handle it up on the high part of the zone. And so Yakima Valley only able to score one. They leave another one stranded, but the comeback is slowly on. 12-3 as we head to the 6th here at Yakima.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Top of the 6th inning here on Mullet Mania night at the Orchard. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Wenatchee AppleSox as they lead it 12-3. I'm Harmon Johnson, your voice of the Pippins, alongside my dad, Dwayne Johnson, play-by-play man for the North Platte 80s of the Pecos League. I got you into that. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah. I am I supposed to be thankful for it?
I don't know. I think
now I spend my nights at the ballpark to wee hours and have to get up the next morning for work. And
I think the coaching staff for the 80s appreciates you.
Yeah, we have a pretty good time. Coach Todd Everleft is a good guy, works really well with the community in North Platte, and I get to sit and visit with him and get to learn a lot of things about his life, about baseball. He comes from the New York area, so you hear a lot of good stories from him. I got the opportunity this year to be able to spend time while they were doing spring training for 4 or 5 days. I was there at every single practice for the most part all the time, and got to learn a lot of things that most people don't hear during spring training and how things are approached, and it was kind of fun.
1-2 pitch here from Hound Tanaka is a golf shot out towards left field. Malachi looking up, and this ball is fair off the wall. It's going to be a hard hit single as that ball ricochets back into the field of play. Leadoff man aboard on a hit as some folks starting to head for downstairs. A very rare thing here in Yakima. Some rain starting to fall.
It's not heavy at the moment, but a few people throwing up the umbrellas and a few people scattering for at least some kind of cover. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go to be able to watch the game, as there's not a lot of cover here.
First pitch strike from Tanaka to Ethan Marr. We had some sprinkles come through during batting practice, and just looking at the sky, it doesn't look like it's going to get very heavy, but certainly a little bit of moisture coming down onto the stands here. You guys get quite a bit more rain than we do out in Nebraska.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this time of year, it's a real struggle sometimes to get ball games in because storms move in about the time games start. And
whoa, hit by pitch. Marr, the victim of a fastball held onto by Tanaka, just a touch too long.
Doesn't take long a lot of times. Rain comes down, you can get ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain in about 20 minutes, and it washes games out pretty quick.
Yeah, here in Yakima, you really don't have to worry about games getting rained out. And I believe this is only the second or third game that I've been a part of at this stadium that there's been precipitation falling during the contest.
Yeah, and we had a rare situation. Very first home game of the series against Garden City. We got three innings in. The rains came, and then the tornado sirens went off. There were several guys that looked around like, what is that? And if you've never heard tornado sirens in a town, I don't know if they have them here in Yakima or not. We had a lot of guys that are not from that area, and when those sirens went off, and there's a siren that literally is on one of the poles at the ballpark. So it's loud, and everybody's kind of in that panic. We knew where the tornado stuff was at. It was south of town. It was quite a ways away, but because of the area, they had set the tornado warnings off.
0-2, softly into center field. Jay going to come in and make the catch as it hangs up for him.
The casual Nebraska person that's used to it, I walked out to center field, took my camera down like normal, didn't get in any hurry.
Yeah, I could believe it. I was talking to my host family about the tornadoes because before I came out here, I was down in Lincoln at school right at the end of the year, and there had been a night that there was a big tornado outbreak in that area, and it was during the day, and I had just come home, and so I was halfway across the state, and I really had wished I had stayed an extra day because tornadoes during the day are actually really kind of neat to look at, but I was telling it to one of my members of my host family, and he kind of had that look on his face like, you went and you wanted to chase a tornado?
Well, truth be told, there were several nights when the storms rolled in. Where did we go?
Right out in the street.
We went out in the street, sometimes jumped in the pickup and went to a better view.
Ball bounces away from Upton. This gets fairly far away, but with a 9-run lead, the AppleSox only going to move up 90 feet.
Some people out there probably thinking, why would you go out into it? If it's during the daylight, it's not that bad.
You can actually chase it and stay away from it. It's at the nighttime that you really don't want to have to mess with a tornado.
Yeah, no,
because all of a sudden a flash of lightning comes out and it's right there in front of you.
You can go on Google a lot of storm chasers, and they will go out right in the middle of storms and try to gather data information. I'm not that gutsy to go that far into it, but
if there's a good angle on top of a hill of a thunderstorm rolling in, I'm going to be out there.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. We have parking garages in Lincoln that when a storm rolls in, it's like, I'm just going to hang out on top of the parking garage. 1-2, very slowly out towards third, but Daichi will field it in foul territory. He touched it. It rolled back fair, but Daichi touched it as the dugout for the AppleSox now arguing. Jacob Fisher blew it dead, and so after he blows it dead, not much else could be done after that.
Yeah, and I think it was the right call. I think it glances off of Daichi up into maybe the stomach area. I don't think he got a lot of glove on it, but maybe it looks like maybe it hit his leg, which once it's in foul territory and touched, it's a dead ball. But that's one of those Daichi probably needs to make darn sure he fields that. Don't give the umpire a chance to maybe say you didn't touch it and have it roll back into fair territory.
Rain continues to come down here at the Orchard. You can start to see it in the lights now. It's gotten a little heavier. Some folks heading down to the concourse and potentially to the exits here in a 12-3 game. We're dry right now in the booth as another ball stroked out to center field, sending O'Neill back. He'll square it up deep enough to score a run. Both guys tag, and a sacrifice fly by Jonah Shields re-extends the lead to 10 for the AppleSox.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. Just, make sure you put the ball deep and in the outfield. Get that run back that you'd given up in the bottom of the inning. O'Neill knew he had no shot at home or third because of the depth of the ball. Made sure he got it just back into the infield quickly so that nothing else could happen.
I'm glad I left my windows up on my car tonight. I usually crack them when it's warmer in the summers, but my interior is going to be dry. Hopefully everybody else isn't going to wake up to or get out there to a little bit of a pool in the bottom of the car.
Yeah, and it's not blowing a lot, so probably if you only cracked them, you're probably okay. shouldn't be blowing into the car too much.
A couple folks brought umbrellas to the ballpark. That's kind of an interesting thing because you don't see very many venues that allow open umbrellas anymore, as a couple of folks heading for the exits are going to find that foul ball.
Yeah, and it looks like the ones we do see out, it looks like they are, for the most part, Pippin umbrellas.
Yeah, new product down there.
See 3 of them. There's a young kid down below us that's got a multicolored.
There you go. There's a look.
Yeah,
if you want one of those, head down to the team store. 1-1, handcuffed. 1-2 the count here to Kainoa Santiago.
And I'm guessing when they decided to bring umbrellas in, it probably wasn't as much for the rain as it was to knock some of the sunlight off of you to stay a little cooler.
Correct. I will say, at least we don't have to deal with thunderstorms out here. 1-2, downstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes, or at least in the 3.5 months I've been out here working, I have not had a thunderstorm. It's been heavy rain, it's been some precipitation, but nothing with lightning in it.
There was a good look from Shea on the lights, giving you a little look of what kind of rain's coming down.
And the rain does not phase Hound Tanaka as he gets through another inning without giving up too much damage. Does give up a run, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 13-3. Wenatchee leads it here at the rainy Orchard.
Pull away for higher or lower, $75 a hand per win. We're starting with an 8. What do we think, guys? Lower. Oh no, a jack. We will not be walking home with any money tonight. However, Megan will be going home with a stay at Alex's Casino Hotel. Thank you very much for playing tonight, Megan.
Well, she can, and you can keep the excitement going after the final out. Legends Casino Hotel featuring your favorite slots, table games, and big-time promotions. Celebrate the game with a little extra fun at Legends. And folks, if you're worried about getting wet, good news. We even have our picnic patio, which is covered. We can pitch you all in there if you want. We'll be out fans out here in the stands. You are conserving your water. You won't have to shower. When you tell your friends tomorrow you saw the most epic comeback of the Orchard tonight, it'll be all over. Oh, by the way, last call for alcohol.
Don't let that scene there by Shea fool you. We are still playing ball here at the Orchard. 13-3, bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Harmon Johnson alongside my father, my color commentator, the guy that introduced me to baseball, Dwayne Johnson. Here for the second of 2 nights, we'll have you on color. And new pitcher into the game is Vincent DeMarco for the Wenatchee AppleSox. DeMarco from Irvine, California, 6 foot 165, making his debut for the AppleSox.
So, yeah, good to be here. Enjoyed having an opportunity to work with Harmon. I spend my time in North Platte doing North Platte 80s baseball. He got me involved. It's one of those things where I was not planning on doing it. He started out in North Platte, did the 80s the first year they were there, got kind of talked into it, decided he wanted a little help. I signed up to do the scoring for him, and instead he put a mic in front of me, and after the first night of having a mic in front of me, what did we do? We bought a headset. So from that point on, I joined in with him. Now I am the play-by-play there. Not one of my fortes. I do my best to try to describe it. Names get me really bad.
So the new pitcher is DeMarco. Crowley able to go 5 innings, giving up the 3 runs on 4 hits, as Luis Garcia is ahead in the count, 2-1. With DeMarco being so new, I actually think part of the reason you were talking for quite a while, a little insight to the behind-the-scenes work here in the press box, DeMarco actually still listed as inactive on our official scoring. And so I'm trying to help our official scorer on who it is, so at least he can make a note of it if he subs somebody else in, because the way our scoring system works, as you well know, you use the same one in North Platte, you can't put an inactive player
into the game.
Correct.
Whether you want to or not.
Yep. No, in the scoring app on the computer side of it, there is no way if they're not listed as active at the time the game starts, you cannot change it and make him active for that game. So you're absolutely right. You definitely want to make sure the right people are in there. And where you guys deal with so many more ball players than what I do, we carry 25 max, and they all pretty much are going to be the same. We do have some turnover, but you learned real quick how to use this app. It's a new app for you guys. It's a new app for us. I know there's some people struggling with it a little bit, trying to understand. It's all about codes. If you're not familiar with how to score baseball games, each position has a letter or a number code, and then you also have different signals as far as your sacrifices, your errors, is it a fly ball, is it a pop-up? And there's some people that I know are having a little trouble trying to understand how to put the right code in the right situation.
One away here is Luis Garcia down swinging. We'll get through the growing pains as we go, and one of those things, unfortunately for us, we cannot help Wenatchee out and make the guy active. So we'll do the best we can. It'll end up getting sorted out. The nice part about it is that the league has all this video that we have here, and so eventually it will get corrected.
There's ways to go into the back end of the system and fix it. It's just a matter of taking time and making sure you get into the right place to do it. I'm not going to say it's an easy process. I've had to do it a couple times just to correct something. I'm one of those, your sister, my daughter is our video producer, and there's times where I literally will say, hey, you need to mark down a certain time in the game so that I can go back and correct something that I know I have in there wrong, but I don't have time to change it right at the moment.
A little bit of a discussion happening here between Jacob Fisher and Coach Kyle Crustangel, and now Clayton Kellogg's going to get in the mix. Krusty had his lineup card out, and Jacob Fisher having his lineup card out. Wonder what the discussion might be. DeMarco, the only reason I know why he's in the game is because the lineup card, I, being the liaison to the press box, have access to the lineup cards that are submitted. He was listed there as number 34, so I don't think it's an issue of that. The Pippins last year under a new coaching staff had some issues where we would forget a number or forget a guy, and when he came into play, it would cause an issue. He wouldn't be able to pitch, or else the team would be subject to the penalty of that. I don't think that's what this is here. I don't want to jump to conclusions.
And I don't know the West Coast League rules as far as do you have to have so many players listed as active? I know in the Pecos League, we can only have 25 total players on the roster, and I think you can only have 22 of those listed as active for the game that night.
Yeah, I don't know. And that gets into the gray area here, so I don't want to talk too much about it. As the umpire's now sorting something out with Coach Crustangel. We're waiting on Jay O'Neill's third at-bat of the night. Pippins trail here by 10. Getting both umpires involved, though, confuses me because, again, they had the lineup cards out, and that's part of what I assume the discussion is about. As some warm-up pitches come in here from DeMarco.
And it's interesting right there. The AppleSox pitcher wants to stay loose and throw, but the two umpires and Coach Krusty are not that far away from that. And usually you don't see him standing that near the home plate while the guy's still warming up.
So a little bit of a confusing situation here at the Orchard in a 10-run ball game. Pippins waiting anxiously to see the results of this visit, even despite the fact that the AppleSox sent 15 or 16 rather, they're 18 in the fourth. That's not the most absurd thing I think that we're dealing with tonight. Is I still can't quite piece together what the situation here might be.
And you were talking about, did you see the official lineup card when you got your lineups, or could you have gotten one and then something got changed and somebody was taken off, and they're not on the actual lineup card that was traded at home plate. Part of the reason there's a plate meeting before every games is that's when the coaches exchange lineups, give it to the umpire. Could that have been maybe a different lineup card than what you got to see?
And I don't know. I'm going to plead the fifth on that because as part of my job, I'm supposed to get the official lineup card. Don't want to perjure myself here to the league.
But you also do that, what, an hour before the game or more?
It's supposed to be about an hour is when the cards are supposed to be submitted. Here come the umpires again.
Well, I think that was more of a
stand in front.
Can you guys move so my pitcher can continue to stay loose? And because they were standing directly in the line of pitcher's mound to home plate.
Yeah. If you're just joining us on either the YouTube or the WSL Live app, AppleSox scored 2 in the second, 10 in the fourth, and 1 in the sixth. Pippins had 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. As some light raindrops continue to fall here at Yakima County Stadium. Jacob Fisher, Clayton Kellogg have been talking with Coach Crustangel for the Pippins for quite a while after a strikeout of Luis Garcia. And now they're going to make their way back towards home plate, and Clayton Kellogg is going to go have a talk with Mitch Darlington, the head coach of the AppleSox. He says, let's move on. Some rallying around DeMarco making his debut for the AppleSox, and after all that, nothing has changed. It was still a strikeout of Garcia, and Jay O'Neill digs in for out number 1. I'll have to ask Coach Crustangel what that visit was after the game before he heads out for the night.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what exactly the discussion was about. It had to be something to do with the player in the game.
0-1, Jay going the opposite field. Shields trying to track it down, fighting the raindrops. He's able to put leather on it for out number 2. Jay had pulled up to second. Nobody made a signal right away. But so O'Neill's out number 2.
Shields went a long ways into left center field to run that down off the bat, and the fact that it was tailing away from the center fielder, really thought that had a chance to get down and all the way to the wall. Credit Jay O'Neill for, hitting a hard line drive to left center field.
Levi swinging first pitch, popping it up on the infield. Castagnola has it, and after a lengthy delay after the first out of the inning, the DeMarco new man for the AppleSox is out of it in just a couple of pitches. Late innings are upon us, 13-3 here at the Orchard. Pipps looks like they have some defensive substitutions coming in. We'll get you all that when we get back.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Carl Mullen Kovash, the new pitcher for Yakima Valley. Good night by Haun Tanaka. 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So Haun pitching on back-to-back nights, able to be very effective after a big inning given up there in the 4th. As we're in the top of the 7th now, Nico Pauletto, Landon White, Joe Coupland up. Another defensive substitution to make note of is Garen Guler is now playing right field for Yakima Valley. Kid from Natchez making his way out to right field, getting some action for the first time in a couple of weeks. Carl into the game here after pitching on Tuesday night. First one missing, ball one. Mullen Kovash in the 9-4 loss on Tuesday went an inning, giving up a walk and 2 strikeouts, but no hits and no runs. Ground ball foul. Mitch Darlington makes the play. Is this Kaipo Matsushima that maybe has grabbed the catcher's gear?
Looks like maybe 67. Would that be his number?
That would be him. Can't tell with the chest protector there.
Pretty sure that's what the number is on the back of his jersey.
Pinch hitter as well, as Pauletto is no longer in the game. This is the man who pinch hit, or excuse me, ran on Tuesday, Max Peterson. So all sorts of substitutions happening here in a 10-run game in the 7th inning.
Not surprising. Usually kind of what you see a lot of times in a large spread into the game. Coaches trying to get guys onto the field that maybe haven't been on the field for a little bit.
3-1. Carl misses downstairs for ball 4, and so Patterson will be aboard without the benefit of a hit in his first plate appearance.
It becomes a scorekeeper's nightmare when you're trying to keep track of all the changes, and it's not so bad when it's the home team and you're doing the book because you know the guys. When the visiting team starts changing and you're trying to figure out who's who and where they're at.
Another pinch hitter here. Man wearing number 27 is Harlan Rowe. So his first at-bat of this series. First pitch downstairs, not going, is Patterson. Harlan Rowe from Snohomish, Washington, attended Lower Columbia College. Two balls and no strikes as Carl struggling to find the strike zone here in his second appearance of the week. Spent 2024 with the Dub C Fish Sticks of the PIL, which ironically the Pippins will play on Monday in a non-league contest.
And you said their nickname is the Fish Sticks?
That is their mascot,
wow.
Correct.
That's an interesting mascot.
Yeah. It's going to be Food Olympics here at the ballpark on Monday. I don't know what all that entails. Probably should have done it during this series, Apple versus Apple, but 2-1 pitch downstairs from Carl, and count running to 3-1. Carl walked Patterson to start, and now Rowe ahead in a hitter's count. Harlan Rowe, it says, committed to Old Dominion, moving up from LCC. 3-1, a big bounce over there towards Hubka. Waits for it to come down, and he's just going to have to put it in his pocket. That's a good luck single by Rowe on his first hack of the game.
And that kind of emulates the way the ball game has gone for the Pippins. Ball gets put in play, and it's bounced so high up that there's nothing you can do but wait for it to come down. And he knew right at that point, it's like, just put it in my pocket because I have no shot of throwing a guy out at first base. And we've seen a few of those tonight from the AppleSox where they've just had the benefit of the things bouncing in the right place.
Strike one thrown by Carl. Getting ahead here on Joe Coupland. 2-run home run, an RBI ground out. He's 1 for 4, but 3 RBI to his name. It is noticeably cooler here at the ballpark now that the rain continues to very lightly fall. You can tell it's not falling very hard because the infield dirt still has a little bit of the dark and lightness to it.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten to that point where you can really see it. The fans are not really the ones without umbrellas. They're not scurrying around there, and to me, they're enjoying the light mist rain coming down.
Carl, an opportunity for a double play. They go to Hubka, and he able to just hold on to the bag. Carl was looking one the whole way, kind of forgot there was only nobody out.
Yeah, immediately he was going to look and throw it to first base, get the out at first. His shortstop hollering at him, let's go 2-2-2, and by the time he turned and threw it, he didn't make a good throw, and Cole was able to catch the ball, get his foot on the base, get that out. But, yeah, that was a prime opportunity for a 1-6-3 double play.
Runners at the corners here. Double play still in order. Cooper Brass hitting in his normal spot as he is plunked. That got him pretty square. Is Quincy Vassar going to go out there and bark some orders, it looks like. It's a 13-3 game. I don't think you're hitting anybody intentionally.
Nonetheless, you don't like to get hit.
Correct.
You know, and guys sometimes will feel like, oh, well, you threw at me on purpose because it is a 10-run game. Here's your chance to just bean me. I don't think that was the case. Most of his misses typically have been arm side, and that was, you know, the arm side to a right-handed hitter, and it just got away from him.
Here's James Castagnola. He's been on base all 4 times tonight, 3 hits and a walk. First pitch strike from Carl, 86 miles an hour on the fastball. A lot of questions to be answered this weekend against the Kelowna Falcons for Yakima Valley. You've still got 9 outs to play with here in this ball game, but it's been 3 somewhat large deficits that the Pippins have faced in this series. Yes, you're facing a team tied for first place in the other division, but the way the Pippins started this year, you have to wonder, now that we're at the middle of the season, who's going to pick these guys back up?
Yeah, no, and they've had 3, you know, kind of what you would somewhat call non-competitive games, and that becomes harder to do. If you're always in a non-competitive game, the juices don't flow quite as much, the guys don't get excited as much, and that makes it hard to continue to compete. And that's where the coaches will have to really work with the guys tomorrow, you know, when they come for their BP and really get them to buy in that, hey, we're not done here. We got to just go back to that basics, and we got to take care of, clean up a few little things.
Fly ball out into right center field, converging Guler, his first chance. And despite a lot of traffic, the AppleSox unable to score. Stretch time here at the Orchard, bottom of the 7th. Next 10-run ball game here on a rainy Thursday night.
On your feet, everybody. Fun fact, did you know that mullets originated in ancient times as a practical military survival cut? Warriors wore it to keep their hair out of their eyes during battle, protecting their necks from the elements and stress, and looking awesome while doing it. Shout out again to all the MacGyvers out there.
Upcoming schedule here at the Orchard as the Pippins trail it by 10. Tonight was, of course, against the Wenatchee AppleSox, and then this weekend, Kelowna Falcons come into town. Another 3-game series against a North Division opponent for Yakima Valley, unable to make up any ground in the South Division. And then on Monday, 4 straight non-league games begin. The Dub C Fish Sticks are in town. And then Tuesday through Wednesday of next week, it'll be the Northwest Star Nighthawks. Couple of fun promotions, Daddy and Daughter Night, and then Country Music Night with some live music. And then the non-leagues will wrap up on July 2nd with the Portland Gherkins. Yakima Valley starting to empty their bench here as Trent Woodhouse gets what I believe is only his second or third at-bat of the season. Woodhouse fouling that over towards Mitch Darlington in the dugout to fall behind 0-2. Trent been one of those guys that's been biding his time down in that dugout, looking for an opportunity. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crowd is definitely thinned out tonight, thanks in large part to the score and the rain.
I think more rain than score at that time. It was still a pretty good crowd until the rain came in, and I think that was probably that last straw at that point, 10-run game. You know, the crowd's going, okay, well, if it's going to rain on me, I'll just go home and be inside out of the rain.
And some of them, as Woodhouse now in a full count, are over down in the right field line in the picnic deck underneath the canopy. So not everybody has given up faith and gone home, but payoff pitch is right down First Avenue here in Yakima. Woodhouse strikes out. The 7-hole has struck out 3 times tonight.
Well, and that was the one thing when it started raining. I said there's not a lot of places to truly go to get out of the rain and see the ball game at the same time. And, you know, that the party deck area is one of the few places there's actually cover here, which in most respects, like you talk, typically it doesn't rain, so you're not too worried about having that cover.
Kaipo Matsushima, who came in defensively for Jackson Upton, getting his second at-bat with the Pippins. Pinch hit at the end of the game on Tuesday, a half swing. He did not go around. 1 ball, no strikes for Kaipo. Matsushima from the Seattle area. Spent time at Kennedy Catholic High School. Fouling this pitch over into the vacant bleachers to even the count 1-1. Who's going to end up with the ball? Matsushima coming off of this most recent year in high school, batting .325 in 26 games. Wave and a miss as he couldn't catch up with 90 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, are we telling the kids not to run at the ballpark? There's nobody here. Let them go chase the ball. I know the bleachers are wet, but man, don't be a killjoy.
Yeah, wet bleachers, probably more concerned about somebody slipping and falling.
Another one over on the right side. Will it get out of play? And it'll be on top of the dugout bar. I know, they're just doing their job. Sophomore year of high school, Matsushima batted .354. In the year before that, a freshman on varsity, .556 in 17 games, although only 5 hits and 9 at-bats. Getting ready to play college ball for the first time in the fall. 1-2, wave and a miss. Kaipo 0 for 2 with the Pippins this summer.
How familiar are you with high school ball in Washington?
Very unfamiliar.
Because the one thing I noticed when he got up there to plate, you kept saying he's a incoming freshman. He was looking off to the side like he's looking at a pitch clock each time before he looks, and maybe that's just his routine, but I just found that kind of weird that he was looking for like a pitch clock before he would look forward.
Cole Hubka takes strike 1.
And as far as I know, nobody.
When we hosted playoff games right before our season started, there was no visible pitch clock that I could tell based on the umpiring crew, or obviously there's nothing here at the stadium. But I do know there are 6 levels of high school athletics here in the state of Washington, maybe 7. There's 4A, 3A, 2A, and then I think 1A, 1B, and 1C, I think is how it goes.
I'll have to look it up. I probably just said that wrong, but I know 4A is the biggest classification. As Hubka down on strikes. DeMarco strikes out the side. It's been a great debut for him. 6 up and 6 down for the new AppleSox right-hander. 8th inning is next. Carl Mullen-Kovash back out in just a second.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
Couple more substitutions for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Jackson Walker is in the game playing third base. Levi Correa is now playing shortstop. Cole Hubka moves over to second base. And coming in for the left fielder Emery Henderson is Trent Woodhouse, as the AppleSox correspond with a substitution of their own here in the number 9 hole. This is Gage Wareham wearing number 17. A lot of moving pieces here at the end of this ball game, a 10-run contest.
Scorekeeper and broadcaster, PA announcers, nightmare.
Well, especially when, as it is in multiple summer leagues, Wenatchee sharing uniform numbers with guys, and the numbers change based on what uniform they're wearing. Sometimes can be hard to keep track of, but that's why we have the lineup card, and that's what I'm going off of. So if anything's wrong out there, I apologize, but that's what I was given.
Yeah, you got to trust what you have is correct, and that's who was meant to be in the game.
2-1 pitch. Misses outside from Carl. It's 3-1. This game really had the wheels fall off in the fourth, and it's just felt dead ever since. Foul ball into the netting. It's a full count now to Wareham.
Yeah, you thought maybe when the Pippins got 2 in the bottom of the fourth inning after that 10 spot that maybe there was a chance to find a way. They got 2 and then 1, but from that point on, it feels like everything is stagnant.
Payoff pitch. Got a piece of Wareham. The number 9 hitter is on base. Well, I tried to convince you to show off your play-by-play skills.
And I politely said, no, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know who the subs are coming in. I have very little reference on your system of what you're looking at on your computer.
It wouldn't have been that hard.
I stayed away from that one.
Jonah Shields up for the 6th time today. It's just been kind of a drudging night, as there's another example of what it's been like all night. A base hit past a Pippins fielder, hard hit that time. Most of them have been slowly hit. And immediately here in the 8th, there's 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, no, that just caps off what exactly you said there, that it seems like when the AppleSox put the ball in play, it's in the gap. When the Pippins put it in play, it's right at somebody.
Baseball players, some of the strongest mentally in the world, I think. You got to play 6 days a week. You got to flush tonight.
And barring a incredible 11-run comeback, it's going to be a 3-game losing streak at home for Yakima Valley, pushing their home record to 5-7. Certainly not as dreary as it was all of last year. And I went through that. I know you guys staying up late kind of went through that last year. Just kind of a season-long drudge, not a game drudge.
Yeah, you're always going to have a few games where things just don't go your way. You know, you're going to have a series like this where it just doesn't feel like things are clicking. Tomorrow's another day. It's another team. It could be the complete opposite. Could be 3 games in a row where everything goes the right way and clicks. This is one of those games, if you think about as a hitter, a guy batting 300 is considered a good hitter. And if you think of that the other way.
Double play opportunity, and nope, Levi's just going to get one. That's probably the smart play. Would have been a tough relay back and forth.
If you think of it the other way, that means 7 out of 10 times you're failing. So it's a game of failure. It's a matter of how you work that adversity and fail. You know, and obviously you don't want to fail like this and have multiple failure games in a row, but this is when you find out what your team's made of, how they come out and play the next day, and find a way to continue to improve themselves.
Wave and a miss here by Patterson, up for the second time. There's a little bit of the coach in you coming back out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, I've been around the ball all my life. I got to do some Little League, got to do some Legion. I've done basketball. Yeah, I'm an exit O.
Uh-oh, here comes another run. A mistake going back towards Carl Mullen Kovash. That's going to be the 4th error of the night for Yakima Valley. Kaipo Matsushima tossing that one a little bit wide of the hill.
Yeah, that's one of those mental mistakes. Yeah, it goes as an error on the board also, but those are the things that just can't happen. The other side of that, and this is there again, I think this will probably get addressed tomorrow, probably get addressed yet tonight based on what little I have met the coaching staff. I'm going to guess some of that is going to be addressed after the game. You know, a bad throw back to the pitcher, but also the second baseman and shortstop, neither one are moving towards second to back anything up either. And so there's multiple mental things, it seems like, tonight that's happened.
Opportunity for a souvenir here.
And that's obviously the coach in me there because I'm very much an X and O. You know, there's always something to do. And you got to deal with it when I was coaching you in Legion ball. And I would always say, it doesn't matter where the ball's hit. There's always something to do.
I still have the book. the 30 strategy moments in baseball that I still bring out every once in a while to refresh myself when I'm preparing for broadcast. As a soft hit ball into right is going to be caught by Garen Guler. Tagging from third and scoring is Jonas Shields. Lead extended again for Wenatchee. It's 15-3.
Going to check at third base to see if maybe he left early. Home plate umpire says no. Guler had to come a long ways in just to make the catch. Had really no chance to get his feet set and make a strong throw to home. But, hey, what do you got to lose? Check it at third. Maybe he did sneak off the bag of hair soon.
So here's Rowe, Harlan Rowe, batting for the second time. Up and in. Talked a lot about him in his last at-bat. Didn't quite have enough time to talk about Patterson with the quick walk that he drew. It's been certainly a night here at the Orchard. Carl misses just a bit outside.
That's being kind.
Bob Euchre. 2 balls, no strikes. The rain has stopped, and so you don't have to worry about the ball maybe as slick in your hand, but some of these baseballs that have been used a couple times maybe just a little bit wet.
Yeah, and I didn't pay attention there after that came in after going to the outfield because it did bounce in the grass on the throw in. Is it the same ball? That means it would have a little moisture on it, but I wasn't paying attention.
3-0 here to Harlan Rowe. Strike there, 3-1. Never did do a look around the West Coast League scoreboard. How about we do that now? 15-3 the score. Why not? First, the 3-1 pitch here by Carl Mullen Kovash. Wave, and that's strike 2. Well, maybe we'll hold off till the next half since we have a full count. That's that broadcaster's jinx. You can't start something with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Never ask a question with 2 strikes and 2 outs, right?
Unless it's a yes or no and you're going to get it off really quick. Full count pitch to Harlan Rowe here in the 8th. It gets away. It's ball 4. Matsushima will gather and hold Rowe to just the 1 bag. So as Joe Coupland strolls up to the plate, just checking to make sure that it is, in fact, Coupland. It is. It's number 20. Here's some of the scores from today. Top of the 8th inning in Bend. The Raptors looking to salvage that series. They're up 8-3 in the top of the 8th. In Nanaimo, it's 2-1 Nanaimo over the Victoria Harbor Cats. Top of the 9th inning. They're about to close that one off. Top of the 8th. Oh, that's here. Whoops. Bottom of the 7th in Corvallis. The Knights putting up 16 runs to 4 against the Girding Builders Marketmen, a non-league team down in that area. Bottom of the 7th inning over in Walla Walla. It must be something in South Central Washington. Walla Walla up 15-8 on the Springfield Drifters. Here's a ball back to the backstop. 1 base advancing for Rowe. So Walla Walla up big at Borleski Stadium. Top of the 8th inning in Bellingham. The Bells looking to sweep the lefties. They're up 8-2. Bottom of the 6th in Kelowna. The Falcons coming here tomorrow. Kelowna leads at 8-6 over the Kamloops North Paws. And Portland getting postponed due to rain. It's currently 3-0 Pickles over Berries. And so that game's suspended and will be made up at a later date when the Berries and the Pickles, I believe they still have one more series to play down in Salem. So most likely that'll be when the continuation is played. They'll just have the Berries be the visiting team, although they might want to finish it at Walker Stadium. It's a little bit of different dimensions, as here's a 4-pitch walk. Joe Coupland is at first. Moving up to third on the pass ball wild pitch is Rowe. Carl just looking for one more out, and looks like he's not going to be allowed to get it. Coach Crestangel going to find another arm from his bullpen to try to get out number 3 here in the 8th. And we'll take a short break before we introduce you to the new Pippins hurler. 15-3 AppleSox on top here tonight at the Orchard.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
New pitcher for the Yakima Valley Pippins is Shifu Hasegawa. Had a great night last night. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, no walks and a strikeout. I did consider Shifu to talk to last night during the postgame, but I went with Derek Almeida for his 3-time on-base performance. Shifu trying to be a bright spot here in a night that's just been plagued by a little bit of long innings for the Pippins pitching staff.
Yeah, and there is another arm down in the bullpen loosening up, where he pitched 2 1/3 last night. You might only see him for a batter or 2 here, try to get out of this inning, and then maybe turn it over to the next man to throw one more inning.
Cooper Brass takes the first pitch strike from Shifu, and that's something Shifu's going to do. Him and Helen Tanaka both strike throwers. The velocity's not quite as fast, but they are around the zone.
And one of the most frustrating things as a coach is watching guys not be able to throw strikes. And it becomes frustrating as the coach side of it. The players then start getting back on their heels because they're not sure what's going to happen. Bad things happen when you're not able to throw consistent strikes.
Tried to get Cooper Brass to go chase that breaking ball. Instead, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shifu said he's willing to pitch every night if he has to. He knows that the lower velocity means his arm is ready, as here's a soft single, well, hard single, 96 off the bat. Another run's going to score, 16-3. That's just the way the night's been.
Yeah. No, and there again, as a coach, you would much rather see that than having the ball not put in play at all and the guy's moving around the base paths. I don't want that to sound bad, but you want to you'd
but
much
walks
rather
hurt.
Yeah,
is what you're trying to say.
You can't defend a walk.
Correct.
And I know that's hard for maybe some people to listen that you're bashing on the pitcher because they're not getting guys out. Well, that's what their job is to get up there, throw strikes, and find a way to make the other team at least put the ball in play.
1-0 here after Hasegawa misses. That one definitely in the zone, 1-1. Castagnola tonight, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. He's got 2 RBI to his name. He's also scored a run. Fly ball out into right. Guerin coming in. Guler makes the catch. And we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 16-3, the AppleSox put up 3 more. 6 outs for the Pippins to work with when we come back.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Welcome back to the Orchard. Our next broadcast of Pippins baseball will be tomorrow, June 26th. Kelowna Falcons are in town for the first game of a 3-game weekend series. Pre-game coverage will begin at around 6:20. First pitch will be at 6:35, and unfortunately, I won't have a color commentator like I've had the last couple nights, but it's certainly been great to have you in the booth, Dad. Sorry the results haven't been maybe quite as close as we were expecting with this first place versus second place matchup.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm enjoying my time. I'm glad we were able to come out, be able to do this again. It's been a couple years where we got to do something together, and it's been fun. I'm enjoying myself. I know your frustration. It's hard to call games when things get out of hand, and you got to keep continuing to broadcast and make things happen and present what you can present. But it is a difficult thing to do, especially by yourself.
Thankfully, I've had you the last couple nights, 90 miles an hour from DeMarco. And here's a fun story. The hometown kid, Hudson Freeze, getting his first at-bat for the Yakima Valley Pippins. A Yakima native. He has a 1,000 on-base percentage.
That one got him right by the 3, I think, and he gladly took that. Going to run down to first base and enjoy his first at-bat as knowing that he didn't make an out.
He's still perfect. No at-bats means you can't have a batting average. Yep. He's 1 for 1 on-base opportunities.
My favorite stat, on-base percentage, is 1,000%.
Here's a chance for Jackson Walker to swing the stick. He was a pitcher in this series. Has not had an at-bat in about a week. So Walker replacing Daichi as the substitutions continue to roll out for these two squads. I was a little shocked to see DeMarco go back out there, but the AppleSox continue to build a lead as Jackson puts a charge into this ball out to center field. Shields back there will make the catch. Jackson hit it hard, 96, but a lot of room to cover there for Shields, and he's already shown in this series a very capable center fielder.
Yeah, hit it to one of the deepest parts of this ballpark, and there again, you can see it. He hit it hard, and we've seen that from several guys that they've hit it hard. I just, kind of go back to what I said earlier. It seems like everything that the Pippins have hit hard has been right at somebody. They can't seem to find that gap when they hit it hard.
Here's Correa. Comes in Velasquez's spot as the second baseman, but he goes to short as Hubka stays in the game and goes over to second base. So if you're scoring along with us, if you've kept up with all the mess in the scorebook, that's where he goes. He's in the 3-hole. Correa heading the count here 2-0.
Scorekeeping's a lost art.
Yeah, we have our one dedicated fan here that I know keeps a book, but I don't think very many people that go to baseball games anymore know how to keep a scorecard.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably 90% of it is they don't even understand how to score the game to begin with. And now everything's done electronically for the most part, even like your official scorebook. It's electronic. You keep a manual scorebook for yourself, and you use it because of the style of scorebook it is, where you have your own information as far as subs and who's on the field and where they're at, things of that nature with your scorebook. But everything now is all computer-based, and I find it difficult for myself when I'm calling games and keeping the score. I don't have the same feel when I'm calling the game because the same information that I'm used to doing on a manual scorebook is not in front of me. You're able to jump back and forth from prior game to prior game. I can't do that on a digital score because it's not there.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Levi Correa. He'll run the count full. Freeze still over there at first. Yeah, and it was a fun moment for me going to one of my first Major League games. I think it was my first one with you out in Colorado, getting the physical scorecard and trying to keep up with a Major League game as the pitch misses for ball 4. Correa is aboard. Some people argue that it's a distraction. You don't get to fully enjoy the game. And as I've done more broadcasts and I've had to keep my own book to keep up with myself, I find myself relaxing more at a Major League game and not trying to keep score. But it also is a way to stay engaged. And I think it's just so cool to leave the ballpark with something you maybe spent $2 on, a scorecard and a pencil, and you have the memento of everything that happened in that game.
Well, and to me, writing it down in a physical scorebook, it gives you a little more mental awareness of what you're doing.
Guler swings on the first pitch he sees. It's a slow roller out to short. Brass can't handle it. Pippins have the bases loaded with 1 out as the bench providing some life here in the 8th.
And where I was going with that, you're writing it down, so it tends to ingrain just a little more into your mind of what happened on that play, where when you're doing it on a digital scorebook, you're really not getting that same feel. And so I go back to it. We're in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, and I'm trying to think, I know the guys did something back in the first inning, but I don't have that same feel, and I can't look as quickly to just look back in that line and go, well, he had a single, those type of things. So if you've never been around a physical scorebook, take a look at it. If you go to a Major League game, grab that. I'm not saying you got to keep the score, but get a look at it. It's a neat thing to see.
Tommy Lamb going to pinch hit here, as here's a ball to the backstop. Hudson Freeze charging home, and Hudson has scored. Dugout gives him his flowers. The Yakima native crossing the plate. It's 16-4.
and he made sure he got all of the plate on that slide. That was kind of a hook slide where every part of his body crossed the plate. He was going to make sure that he got run number 1 in his book.
Good for Hudson. I know he's been here a while. He hasn't gone on any of the road trips. He's been that home-only type guy, but good to see him get in a game and have some success. I know the hometown fans here appreciate his efforts as Lamb sends one foul out of play to make the count 1-1. At one point in my life, I wanted to have a physical score of every game I'd been to for the major leagues, and I'm missing a couple because of I was either young when I went or I just didn't keep a book because I was with friends. But I think it's kind of a neat memento to be able to flip back, and if you know how to read a scorebook, you can basically call the game again and go pitch by pitch or batter by batter and relive the game.
Well, and you helped me the other day, the first night I was out here, because one of our guys had sent me a text and was concerned that he was a pitcher and that his ERA was entered into the scoring app incorrectly. And we were able to go back through that score, that digital scoring, and we could go back in those innings and we could tell between the two of us what happened, what was an earned run, what wasn't an earned run. Well, if you don't have that information, there's no way to tell. And with a physical book, you have it right in front of you. It's a lot easier to determine that.
Tommy got a piece of that to stay alive. Okay, let's go to school here for the people that I maybe have not educated well enough. What's the difference between an earned run and an unearned run?
So an earned run would mean that the guy got on base by a walk, a hit. He worked his way around the bases without an error that would have caused maybe an out that would have taken him off the base paths. And the difficult part of that is when you get maybe an error early in the game, maybe the first batter, there's an error at first base, and he comes all the way around to score. That's an unearned run because he shouldn't have been on base to begin with. Well, you also have those situations where sometimes there's an error on the field. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have an unearned run because of that, because say the one earlier where the catcher threw it back to the pitcher, that's an error which allowed the guy to move up. But if the next guy hits a base hit, he's going to score on that base hit anyway. So sometimes it's you have a little bit, you can't score it right off the bat.
Tommy going to shoot one out to right field. Patterson coming on, drops the baseball. Charging in from third is Levi Correa. Pippins score, and we get tacos. 5 runs on the board for Yakima Valley.
And that's a prime example right there. That I'm sure would be scored as an error. I wasn't paying attention. If I'm scoring, it gets an error. But in that same case, that runner's going to score on the catch because it would have been a sacrifice fly. So it technically goes as an earned run because he would have scored anyway. So I think you're showing me in there that they haven't scored as an unearned run. I would disagree with that because on the play, he's tagging, ready to come home. You can't assume the outfielder's going to throw him out coming to home.
And that would have only been out number 2
Correct.
in the inning had the catch been made. So a tag-up play, he probably would have scored or at least tried to on a throw-in from right field. We're going to get a pitching change here, but let's hang out. We've run the ads too much tonight. Go ahead and finish explaining.
Well, and without looking at your book, was there any other errors in that inning before that point?
So
that's the first error, and like you said, if there was an error earlier that would have been out number 1 or 2 earlier, where that would have been out 3, then that becomes an unearned run. But because that fact that that's a fly ball that, yes, he should have caught, you can't, like I said, it's one of those you can't assume a double play, so that becomes an earned run because of it. And the nice thing about a physical book is it's a lot easier to go back at the end of the inning and determine unearned versus earned run, where in the scoring app, it comes up on the scoring app as an unearned run because the immediate question after the play that we see on the screen is that an earned run or an unearned run? Well, technically sometimes you don't know the answer at that point because you don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
And everybody's got their own quirks of scoring. I've never really posted a picture of a finished page from my book, but maybe I'll do that tonight for anybody that wants to see kind of how the scoring works. When there's a pitching change, I have a very specific mark I make that tells me when a pitcher leaves, which runs still belong to him. Because just because a guy exits the game, in this case, DeMarco, he leaves runners at second and first, and so if they both come around to score, he's the one that gets credited with those runs, not our new pitcher, Derek Render.
Absolutely. There's a lot of little things that if you're not familiar with baseball that you would not understand. And I don't want to say anything bad about my colleagues in the Pecos League, but I'm pretty sure we have some people that are not completely up to snuff on how everything is scored and what's what.
Well,
and then you get people that will automatically, they scored, so it's an earned run.
And I've got one for you as Levi Sotomayor digs in and takes strike one against this new pitcher, Derek Render. Last night, the final score was 11-5, but there was a save recorded by an AppleSox pitcher.
Yeah, and that's one of those that a lot of people don't understand. How can you possibly have a save? Because typically the only time you hear of a save.
Ground ball up the box off the glove of Render. They're going to have one play. It's at first. Both runners move up into scoring position. Levi Sotomayor is out number 2.
So now I'm gonna bounce back now. So if either one of the runners now score from second or third after this point, they're unearned runs because that should have been out number 3 after the drop ball in right field. That's easy to score that because you can literally look at it and go unearned.
And you get to call that a 1-6-3 because it was off the pitcher's glove.
Exactly. Yep. No, because he touched it, it's a 1-6-3. Where were we going before I said that?
The save last night, but we're going to get the inning ended here by Trent Woodhouse. A ground ball out towards second, and the new second baseman, Wareham, retires this side. We'll finish the conversation in the top of the ninth. AppleSox one more chance to extend their lead as the Pippins score a pair.
Gear up for summer like no other with Legends Cup. From the first whistle to the final goal, it's a 3-month marathon of massive payouts. Kick it with us every Thursday from June to August for a chance to win your share of $275,000. Just use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries. The stakes are high, the prizes are huge. Legends Cup, only at Legends Casino Hotel. The pitch is calling. Will you answer?
A couple years ago when I was in high school, I had braces. I didn't wear my retainers or anything, so I came back and I've shown a lot more progress with this time around than last time around. They are very helpful. They show you step by step like what needs to be done so you don't waste your time on treatments. Working with Dr. Christopher, I'd say they are very, very good orthodontists, and I would love for people to come here and enjoy everybody and everybody's personality. It's been great.
Welcome back to Yakima County Stadium. New pitcher into the game. Let's have some fun with this one. Abel Ramos, the man from Venezuela, on the hill, his first pitching appearance of the season. First, I want to say thoughts and prayers are with the people of Venezuela. A big earthquake shattered most of that country last night. I talked to Abel before the game. He said none of his family was impacted, but certainly a lot of Venezuelan baseball players in this league, not so much in this league, but in professional leagues and around the country. So hope everything is getting back to better after the earthquake last night. But Ramos, a fun guy to be around, and he's going to pitch here in a 16-5 game. First man he faces is Ethan Marr, and 75 out of the hand. Looks pretty lively.
Yeah, he, obviously a catcher. He understands the ball game as far as, pitcher's mound to home plate. He's obviously had some kind of pitching experience. You're not going to throw a guy out there that has not done any kind of pitching, which if you go back to probably all these guys on the field, at some point when they were little league, their high school, maybe their Legion ball, depending on what level, where they were at, they all probably pitched at some point.
Ramos
it's
getting up to 85 here. Sorry to interrupt you. He's definitely got that catcher's arm. He's missed with all 3 pitches, though. It's 3-0 to Ethan Marr. We'll have to see what happens if a guy gets on against him. He's very loose out there on the mound in the windup.
And he's getting faster each pitch also. That one's at 86, so it's probably one of those just get a feel.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time Ramos pitched was. 3-1. That's strike 2. 86 again. We were talking about the save situation from last night, and the pitcher that came in, Beck, went the final 3 innings, and at the time, it was a 6-4 game, actually a 7-4 game. And so if you want to explain, as Ramos gets his first strikeout of his Pippins career, down goes Ethan Marr.
That was a really good breaking ball.
Yeah, it was.
Started it kind of on the inside corner, broke it across the middle of the plate at the bottom half of the zone, and froze the hitter.
So explain to our audience why that is still a save, even though the final score was 11-5.
So when he came into the game, it's under a 3-run lead is one of the keys there. If you pitch when you enter the game and it's a 3-run or less lead, or there's a situation of is the tying run on the on-deck circle. That's a little harder to explain, in a situation where you're not seeing it. It doesn't matter what the run difference becomes at the end of the game because you came in under 3 runs. Now, I didn't realize that's where you were going because I was thinking you were going to the fact that he pitched 3 innings, and I was thinking the game was already a bigger spread than 3 runs. There's a situation, you don't see it very often, but you get a save if you finish the last 3 innings of a ball game, no matter what the score is. Or more.
We had a situation last year on opening day against the AppleSox, ironically, where, as the 2-1s cut on and missed, Evan Ellis picked up the first save of the Pippins season last year. He pitched the final 4 innings of the game. It was still a very close game, but it was a 4-inning save.
But you could come into this situation, a 10-run game. If you pitch the last 3, if you were the AppleSox pitcher and you pitched the last 3, you get a save because you ended it with 3 or more innings pitched. That's a rule that most people do not know, or I don't know if we call it a rule, but that's a situation that most people don't
decision.
Yeah, a scoring decision that most people would look at you like there's no way. We were talking about it I think a couple weeks ago on the phone where we were talking about the on deck because the pitcher came in with the bases loaded and the on deck guy represented the tying run. It was still a 5-run game at that point, but because of when he entered the game and had 3 guys on the bases already, those are not his responsibility. So that turned into a save situation.
My pencil is malfunctioning here tonight. There's another rule I want to bring up with you, and this might be getting too deep in the weeds for the casual viewer, but I'm going to do it anyway. Explain to me the brief and ineffective rule that sometimes plagues relief pitchers when a win is given to a guy that didn't pitch in the situation where the team took the lead behind him. Say there's a 1-run deficit, reliever comes in, and then the team takes the lead in the bottom half of the inning, but he only went a third of an inning, and then the next guy goes 2 innings and gets the win. Even though he didn't come in right after the team took the lead, the brief and ineffective rule comes into play where a scorer could say, well, the first guy doesn't deserve the win because he only got 1 out.
Yeah, no, and that's very much a judgment call. There's no hard, fast rule behind that. A lot of times what you'll see is the scorer has to determine the guy that came in, who was the most effective at that point in time. Yes, the guy maybe got 1 out and then came out of the game. Was he really effective at that point? Then maybe the next guy that came in, even though the lead had already been established, if he became that effective guy for two innings or something like that, and everything extended from there, sometimes you give the win to that person. It's a tough area to judge.
Yeah. And again, if you're going to get a win as a starter, you have to go 5 innings. That's just a scoring intricacy that you see throughout all of baseball.
Yeah.
And it comes into play in high school where you only play 7 innings as a regular game, so who gets the win? Not that you're truly caring about wins and losses as a pitcher in your stat line. But wave and a miss by Jonas Shields. 2 strikeouts for Abel Ramos. He's been fairly effective since coming into the game. Last hope here for the AppleSox to extend the lead. Kainoa Santiago, the final hitter that the Pippins hope to face tonight. There's been so many of them that have come up for the AppleSox. This is the 7th trip through the order. Any other scoring intricacies we need to hit here?
Off the top of my
I
head,
think we've got most of them.
I can't think of anything right off the top of my head as far as, you could get into your fielder's choices and your sacrifice and.
Fly ball out towards center field. Tommy Lamb patrolling the middle of the outfield. He will put it away under the night sky, and the top of the 9th is over. Pippins need a miracle as they trail by 11. 3 outs left here against the AppleSox.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases. Old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
(16-5) here at the bottom of the 9th inning. Kaipo Matsushima, Cole Hubka, and Hudson Freeze are the 3 scheduled here in the 9th. If the Pippins are going to complete a comeback, they'll need quite a few more than that. But it's just been a sluggish kind of night if you're a Pippins fan. For the AppleSox, they find themselves in a good scenario because they have won 3 in a row after suffering a loss to end last week. And they also needed to win tonight because Bellingham in the top of the 9th inning at Joe Martin Field currently leads Port Angeles. So the AppleSox trying to stay on the same pace with the Bells up in first place of the WCL North. Kaipo Matsushima struck out back in the 7th inning. He's going to foul this away. Actually, they're just going to say a swing, but same effect. It's 1-1.
So, Harmon, a couple weeks ago, you had a little issue with a pencil while on the road. Well, your mother and I decided we're going to get you something that hopefully will help get you through maybe several years. A very nice steel-lined pencil.
Oh, let's flip the camera around here. See if Shay can flip it in here. I don't even know what's going on in the game. I'm standing out in the hallway. What's the count, Dad?
We are still 1-2. Check swing. That one is outside all the way to the backstop. So evens the count at 2-2.
Come over here, Mom. There it is.
So we have gotten him a very nice. It's actually like a steel titanium type click pencil.
Gear is what it says. Foul ball out of play, 2-2.
Since you dropped yours or broke it, this will give you an opportunity to maybe, not break a pencil.
Oh, find a way. We'll try to avoid that. But, ooh, that's heavy. And it's 0.5 for my big handwriting. Matsushima on the ground, foul, 2-2.
Well, we debated on what what size of lead because of your scorebook, and it's fairly small. If people saw it, you don't have a lot of room in your scorebook. You got to write pretty tiny to do it.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So
that is tiny. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I will definitely put it to good use.
Still the 2-2 count. There's a line drive. Left center field. Will that drop? It does not. I'm not sure who's in center field at this point in time. So.
That is still Shields.
Is it?
A very able center fielder.
Sorry. I had to call it, but then I'm like, I'm not sure what subs we've had and haven't had. I kind of quit writing names down on my sheet beside me on who's in what part of the field.
See, I knew I'd eventually get you to do some play-by-play. Shields, nice catch out there in center field. Tip the hat. That is a nice play. In the wet grass, nonetheless. Cole Hubka fouling that pitch away. Pippins down to their final 2 outs. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going to use it tomorrow. I'm going to have to because my pencil, it's ironic because this one just jammed on me.
When you were having an issue with your pencil and I turned around and your mother wasn't standing behind me, I was like, well, this would be a great opportunity, but I wasn't sure where she'd gone.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Hubka. Cole tonight 0 for 3. Top of the order going to come up one more time. It was Hudson Freeze back in the 8th inning, trying to peer down to the on-deck circle to see if it is, in fact, Huddy still. 1-1, stung. Here's another chance for Shields. He will not get there, though, as Cole Hubka picks up a hit before we get to tomorrow. First chance to use the pencil here. 1B. Oh, yeah. That writes nice and smooth.
I wasn't worried about the writing side as much as being stiff enough so that you didn't drop it on the floor and break it.
It's heavy. I'm going to have to do like some weightlifting to be able to hold this pencil for 9 innings. Hudson Freeze, on base percentage of 1,000. Taking the first pitch for ball 1. Let's see if Huddy can get a hit here. Make his average 1,000. Yakima kid. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, that category that you like is certainly looking good right now for Hudson.
The on-base percentage still at
Yeah.
1,000.
Hitters count 2-0.
And I don't
Hitters
know,
count 3-0.
Maybe you need to explain on-base percentage to the fans.
That was pretty easy. It's just the total number of times you get on, whether it's a hit, an error, a walk, hit by pitch, fielder's choice. Anytime you get on the bases is on-base percentage.
And that's why I like it so much, because sometimes
Oh, Hudson free swinging here down the right field line, over by the pole. It is foul.
almost an opportunity for a double there.
I thought for a second if he could have kept it straight, he had a chance out there at Jersey Mike's land.
Short porch there, just sneak it over top of that
That would have
fence.
been the highlight of the night.
Yeah, like I said, I like on-base percentage because it's a true testament to you being on the base pass.
Oh, we cleared the scoreboard. It was a 3-ball count, 3-1. There's ball 4.
Oh, nope.
Oh! Oh! I don't know about that one.
Had a chance to say 1,000%. Instead, he's going to have to come back and do it.
I don't like disagreeing with umpires, but come on, Jacob Fisher. He's not going to hear the end of it from the Pippins dugout.
Yeah,
Chance for Hudson to be on base twice. Instead, it's a payoff pitch with 1 out. Freeze on the ground. He'll stay alive. Not worth arguing if you're Coach Crustangel because you're down by 11, but, man, for a guy that hasn't played much this year, here's a look at the location of that pitch. Yikes.
Definitely down.
Yikes.
I mean, we have the advantage of some other information in the booth with us, but watching the replay, there's no doubt that ball's low.
That ball's high. Hudson takes a quick look back at the umpire before taking his base.
And the way he stepped back, I wasn't so sure he wasn't going to ring him up. So
Freeze on base twice, a walk and a hit by pitch. That'll move Cole Hubka up to second.
Tough to lose a game by 11 runs, but when you can get a guy in the game, a couple at-bats, and he gets on both times, that's these guys, they're all coming together from different locations, but they come a little bit of a family for a couple months. And they all know the situation, and they know he's probably not going to see many at-bats this year. So they're all about trying to make sure, they enjoy what he's happened to do tonight.
Downstairs 2-0. That might sound harsh coming from us as Quincy Vassar heading out to talk with his reliever Render, excuse me. But at this level in the West Coast League, unfortunately, you do start to get into that business side of baseball. These are independently owned franchises that have to find a way to keep the lights on. And part of that is, yes, you want to develop players, but you also have to play the team that's going to give you the best chance for a win every night.
Right, yeah. You're exactly, yes, you want to develop guys. And
that's the ultimate goal.
Some of the development, but on the same side, some of the development that these guys are getting is not always on the field. It's in the batting cages. It's before games. It's learning things. In all reality, once you're on the field, you're really not developing at that point. You're just doing what you've been trained to do. Now, like you said, they're independently owned organizations. If you're not winning games, it's hard to get fans to come watch the game.
Jackson Walker avoiding the walk there. It's 3-1. Render fires in a strike. And
I commend the fans that are still here. That 10-run inning, they could have all just walked out and said, you know what, I'm going home. It's a weeknight. A lot of these people, they got work in the morning. It's
10 o'clock.
Almost 10 o'clock out here. I'm going to let everybody know it's midnight for me. So,
payoff pitch. Walker stays alive.
The fact that there's a lot of fans still here, I'm not saying it's a packed house by any means, but there's fans here. They're still cheering for these guys. They want to see them win. And as an ownership group, they want to see the ball team win because that brings bodies out to watch the game.
Jackson plunked on the elbow guard. Thankfully, he was wearing that thing. Otherwise, he might be a little more sore. So the bags are loaded with one out here. Levi Correa gets another chance to hit. Well, Correa, another one of these guys that hasn't seen the field quite as much over the last week or so, but making the most tonight. He was on base with a walk in the 8th. He scored a run.
Well, and kind of touching base a little bit on what we were talking about, I was visiting with Coach Pants before the game while they were doing BP, and I flat asked him, I said, is it easier doing things here at home or when you're on the road? Sometimes when you're at home, guys have a lot of other distractions. I know they're with host families, and so it's not quite as much distraction. But the one thing he touched base, he said, here at home, you guys have the luxury of a indoor hitting facility.
Correct. Yeah, DBAT Yakima, one of our sponsors and one of our main helpers for.
And he said that has been such a help for him as trying to work with guys at that point in time. They go over early in the morning, or not early, but before they come to the ballpark. And he said, I can work with them on a lot of fundamental things with their batting. He said, when they get to here, it's hard to teach that at this point. You got to do that at a different level or different spot. And he said that's where all of our work really gets done.
2-1 to Levi. It's strike two. Correa and then Garen Guler waiting on deck. Yeah, having DBAT just up the road is a very helpful resource for these guys. I know Panch offers a lot of his time out there in the indoor cages to help these guys develop. 2-2. Levi stays alive.
The thing that impressed me about the West Coast League, and obviously I haven't been in the other leagues, but you guys have TrackMan that shows all the different things, and I don't know how much you've explained it to your listeners. We can see exactly the strike zone based on TrackMan. We can see the rotation of the ball, the depth of the ball, the speed of the ball.
Pop up, foul territory, into the stands. Heads up, Leroy.
But that same information is used by the coaches and everything to help develop these guys of, hey, you need to be able to get more spin rate when you're throwing pitches, things of that nature. Hey, you're on the zone, you're right at the edge, you're whatever. It's a great thing because you have so many tools at your resource for these guys at this level.
2-2. This one's popped up on the field of play. Who wants it between the first baseman and the second baseman? This is Wareham making the catch. It's actually an infield fly because the ball was fair, the bags were loaded, there were less than 2 outs. So Correa was out no matter what.
He was out no matter what because of that, but you still want your fielder to make sure they are taking care of what they need to do. You're not going to want your second baseman to come in and make a basket catch after a towering high pop-up.
Garen Guler, the last hope for Yakima Valley to get back on the scoring column, 16-5. Hey, at least we got tacos tonight. 5 runs put up by the Pippins. There's a pitch inside. Ball 1. And it looks bleak right now. It feels bleak. 3-game losing streak. The Pippins have had 2 separate 3-game losing streaks in the last week or so. And so in one of those valleys of the season right now, as Guler going to put a charge in it out to right field. It 1-hops in front of Patterson. The Pippins score a run. 16-6. The deficit is 10. Garen Guler. That's very good to see because he hasn't played in probably a week and a half, getting a hit after some high strikeout numbers.
No, and put a good swing on it there. There again, the 80s, I knew I'd do it again at some point. The Pippins, referencing my team back in North Platte, the Pippins have done well to hit the ball into the outfield on line drives.
Tommy Lamb here, hitting with 2 outs and the bag's full.
They've only got 7 hits on the night, but they've had 4 or 5 other times that they've hit line drives that the outfield has been able to get to and catch. So that's one of those things as a coach you got to go to your team and say, hey, you know what? We hit the ball hard at times. We just didn't have the ball go in the right place.
2 balls, no strikes here to Tommy. And again, it feels bleak right now, but that's the way baseball goes. Look at a team, not referencing this because they're my team that I root for, but the Atlanta Braves are 3-7 their last 10 after that hot start that they had in the MLB. They were first place by nearly 10 games, and now I think the lead is only 3.5 over the Phillies, who are in second place. It happens. You go through lulls, and we're not bashing the Pippin. I love these guys down in the dugout. The AppleSox, hats off to them for the amount of offense they've been able to generate in this series, as this play likely going to end the game. But hats off to the AppleSox to be able to put up 3 nights in a row with huge run production, getting bigger every night.
Yep. No, they hit the ball well. They took advantage of situations when they had that opportunity to take advantage. That's why you're seeing them up at the top part of the division they're in, is because they're doing the things they're supposed to do to win ball games.
So the final score in this one, as the team's coaches shake hands, 16-6. The AppleSox sweep the Pippins, the first time the Pippins have not been able to take a game in a series this summer, falling in Game 1 9-4, Game 2 11-5, and Game 3 16-6. The Pippins were able to add to their run total every night throughout this series, but just unable to get over the hump against a very, very good AppleSox squad that are looking to try to wrap up the first half in the WCL North and make the playoffs with half of the season still to come.
Yeah, and you guys have such a unique system up here of the first half, second half, total. You know, when you were explaining it to me last year, I just, it didn't make sense. It just like, how can you possibly do this? But the more I see and hear it, the more I like the way it's laid out, because it always gives everybody an opportunity to stay in the stay in the league and stay in the game, where they have an opportunity, because you have a poor first half, you can have a great second half, and you don't feel like, oh, well, we just don't have anything left.
So the Pippins fall in this one. They fall in all 3 games. And, Dad, it's been so good to have you out here again, being able to call a couple games with you, back to our days in North Platte. And I find myself like, the results, I'm going to have to kick you out of my stadium because the results were not great. But to have a color partner again, and I think Shay enjoyed hanging out with you guys, to have Mom here on Monday night. She was here, obviously, but having her on the air Monday or Tuesday night, it's just been so nice to catch up. And you and I share a very special bond through baseball, and I've just been so appreciative of the time to come up and hang out with me for a couple of games.
No, and I'm glad I had the opportunity this year to be able to be here and spend a little time in the booth with you. I know initially when we were talking about it, we were talking about doing all 3, but it was, I would have gladly done it, but, I feel like you're doing such a good job with what you're doing. I don't want to step on your toes and change the way you're doing it.
It's going to be an adjustment tomorrow, that's for sure.
Now you're back to that. You got to do it yourself again. That makes it hard to do, And I've been fortunate on my side of it, out in North Platte, I was able to snag a friend of mine, and he does color with me. And it's so much easier when you have a partner than trying to do it by yourself. I'm always amazed at what you can do by yourself, because there's so many things you're keeping track of.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully this isn't the last time we call games together. I know when we were done in North Platte, it was, when are we going to get a chance to do any sort of game together, whether it be baseball or anything else, but hopefully not the end of the line for us as a duo. I think we work pretty well together, and again, was so glad to see both you and Mom. We're going to have breakfast tomorrow before you guys fly out, and then you have a game, quick turnaround, less than 24 hours after you land.
Yep. No, I have a game Saturday night at 7 o'clock. We land in Omaha at basically midnight, 12:01 Saturday morning, 5-hour drive to get home, then get a couple hours of sleep set up, and we have 5-6 ball games in a row. So we have a fireworks on the 30th after our game. So a lot of things happening over the next week for me. I know you don't get a chance to really listen in much. We try to get you some information, but because of timing, it just doesn't work well. I enjoy being able to jump on at the end of our games and hear your final call. We always kind of talk afterwards of how the 2 nights went, stuff like that, but it's fun.
Hopefully some wins in the future for both of our squads. The start time tonight was 6:35. We ended at 10:01, game duration of about 3 hours and 30 minutes. For everybody involved with the Yakima Valley Pippins, I'm Harmon Johnson signing off tonight, saying stay safe, have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you, Dad, for joining me. Final score in this one, Pippins fall 16-6. They get swept by the AppleSox. We'll be back at it tomorrow against the Kelowna Falcons, first game of a 3-game series. Until then, have a great night, everybody. You've been listening and watching Yakima Valley Pippins Baseball.